From the greatest sports town in modern history, New York City. Welcome to the most exhilarating sports talk on YouTube today. The Entertainer, talking sports. So mute your device, dial your phone, and prepare yourself for the pinnacle of sports talk on YouTube. The Entertainer, talking sports. Monday nights, only on YouTube.
Stand up, football fans. What's going on, New York Giant fans? Hope everybody's having a good night. Combine has been completed. Figured I'd jump on here, talk a little New York Giants. Free agency's only 2 weeks away. We got the draft coming up in about a month and a half. So I'm sure we got a lot to talk about. I haven't talked to you guys in a couple of weeks. So figured I'd do a call-in show tonight. Hopefully we have a good time. Thank you to everybody for being here. What's up, Chip Kelly? What's going on, Big Daddy? Chuchi's in the house. The sports influencers in the house. Bob Wells, Giants Nation, Luke Dog, Pro Gannon, Afghanistan, Vance. Thank you to everybody for being here. Hopefully we get some good calls tonight. Obviously the news today, well, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's going to want to talk about Isaiah Simmons. We had Okuda go today. Trade rumors. I'm sure we'll talk about that. We'll talk about free agency. And yeah, man, just drop your questions and let's talk some Giants football. So I'm going to drop the number right here. And we're going to talk some Giants football. 914-481-3540. What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, Scotty? Afghanistan. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Is this the pizza delivery chain? Is this Tony's?
Oh, Chris Sonora's starting us off. What's up, Chris Sonora? How you doing, buddy?
Yo, what's up, you sexy bastard? How you been?
I've been all right. How about yourself?
I've just been out here, roasting some degenerates at golf. But it's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what'd you want to talk about? How'd you do in golf today?
Oh, I did pretty good. I think I got like a 34 on 8 holes because the other 8 it started to rain, so we couldn't play the other 8. But yeah, it was fine. I sucked at driving, so it was fine.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. What'd you want to talk about, buddy?
How the Giants, how you guys wanted to, I thought it was trade, or it might have been cut Nate Solder. What do you think we'd get for a trade with Solder?
We're not gonna get anything. We're not gonna get it.
You won't get anything.
We're not gonna get anything for Nate Solder.
You get like a 6th or a 5th?
No, the trade rumors were bogus for Nate Solder. Basically what they said was, the Giants are open to trading him, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to take on that contract. As soon as I heard that, I said I'm not even going to report on that because it's nonsense. Nobody's taking on a $19 million contract with 2 years left to go. And I think he stays with the Giants for one more year. I think they'll cut him after next year when I think he's only a $6 million dead cap hit. I think they'll try to address the offensive line in free agency in the draft, but I think Solder's here to stay for one more year.
And also, I don't know if you heard, but you see the Conklin rulers that he's not, or rumors he's not going to go to the Jets?
Yeah. Of course, right after I made that video, I posted in my, I pinned the comment, but right after I made the video, then somebody else came out and rebutted what he had to say. So we'll see. I guess he's still in play. I think Conklin's going to cost a fortune, being that he's by far the best tackle on the open market. He's probably going to cost $16, $17 million a year, and it's going to be a 5-year contract. But yeah, he's still in play, and I remain from what I've said. If they're going to spend big on one guy, I want it to be Conklin.
Yeah, I'd splurge on Conklin too, because we need the offensive line as well. But you guys are really, really tough at that. So, but if I was the Giants, I'd really go Ezra Cleveland. Ezra Cleveland from Boise State, I really like him. I think he fits y'all's offense. But yeah, he actually did good in the combine too. He had average numbers, but he was. I saw him. He was really good, and I really want the Chargers to go after him. But yeah. I think where you're gonna see a lot of effective players and efficient players with Dave Gettleman, it's gonna be in the late rounds. I think you might get like a good offensive lineman in the 5th round, 4th round, Even wide receivers, because, Saban's a really good wide receiver. He's like a 5th-round pick. And you got, like, people like Claypool, you got KJ Hill, Golden, or whatever his name is. A lot of good wide receivers in this class. So, if I was New York, I'd take offensive line and wide receivers at the end of the draft. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say.
No. As far as the wide receivers go, I completely agree with you. I think it's a very deep wide receiver draft. And I know a lot of people have talked about potentially taking Judy in the first round or taking a guy like T. Higgins in the second. I just think it's such a deep draft that and because it's not the Giants' biggest need, it makes a lot more sense to wait until the 4th, 5th, 6th round. Because you're still going to have quality receivers there. Maybe, probably not after the combine, but maybe a guy like Claypool drops. There's a number of guys that you could get there. Gandy Golden, people have talked about. You get him in the 4th or 5th round. So I think the Giants would be best suited to wait on the wide receiver position.
Yeah, like Henry Ruggs. I think he's from Kansas, I believe. I don't know what school he's from. He's really good. He ran a really good 40 time. I think the fastest 40 time. He's a person I think New York should keep an eye on, and I think they are. But yeah, I think wide receivers this year is the year to draft for y'all. Just all you got to do is just build around Jones. In my opinion, build around Jones because he's your quarterback. And I've heard a lot of people say build around Saquon and stuff like that. I get it, he's your best player, but you got to build over a quarterback over running back because running backs it's a good 6-7 years. Then they're gone. Quarterbacks good 15 years. Yeah, seeing people like Phil Rivers, Eli Manning, of course, Tom Brady. Always got to build around your quarterback. So. Just give Jones as many weapons and see what he can do,
Yeah, well, I think they need to build around both. I think they need to improve the offensive line, and it'll help both of them. Now it's just a matter of how they prioritize it, whether they do it in free agency or the draft. But we're gonna have to wait and see. We got another couple of weeks until we find out about free agency, and then we'll know the direction of the Giants in terms of the draft.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say. And also, my prediction for New York, I think y'all will have a better offense throughout Daniel Jones and Saquon's career than defense. I think y'all are going to have really good offense in a couple years. And, just got to win and see. So that's all I got to say. And
I appreciate the call, sir. One of my best, man. Thank you for the call, my man.
All right, you degenerate. Goodbye.
All right. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
All right, you degenerate. Goodbye.
Hello?
How you doing?
Yeah, can you just do me a favor? Just turn the volume off in the background.
All right.
You there?
Yeah,
Hey, who's this?
it's Jay.
Jay, what's up, Jay? What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Yeah, I want to talk about how I think we should draft Isaiah Simmons first. I feel like we need that versatile playmaking skills. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean,
we need that in the defense.
I think most people in the chat, well, I shouldn't say most. I think a lot of my subscribers are definitely still with the O-line. It's kind of a 50-50 split. It's pretty interesting, actually, this offseason. Nobody could come to an agreement of what they think the most important thing is.
Yeah, I understand because Tristan Wirfs, Kyle Becton, they did real good in the combine. But I just feel like we need that playmaker. I feel like we put a lot of draft picks into the first round, into the offense. I feel like he should just, Dave Gettleman should just switch it up. Go to the defense. Isaiah Simmons is one of them stud players that Joe Judge and Patrick Graham need to make the defense versatile. Like, the defense wins the championship. On top of the offense was never a problem during regular season. The defense was really the problem because we couldn't stop no one. 3rd and 15s, people were like,
oh, yeah.
No.
Really killing us. I think everybody agrees for sure. I just think I think everybody agrees that the defense absolutely needs to be upgraded. I just think some people may think it's they need to fix that offensive line because they got a young quarterback and a running back. But they're both. We're not going to be good until we're not going to be good until both are fixed at the end of the day. Without a good offensive line, Giants are not going to be a good football team. They got to fix both. And I guess that's the GM's job and the coach's job to figure out what's the best course of going about doing it. Whether it's to draft O-line in the first round or to draft defense in the first round. But yeah, I mean Isaiah Simmons.
But you said how the free agency sets our draft up.
Yeah,
that's really gonna be important.
Well, that's exactly in 2 weeks 2 weeks now. We're gonna have a really good idea in terms of the draft. But Isaiah Simmons knocked it out of the park. Like I'm worried now. I mean, if you're an Isaiah Simmons guy, I'd be worried he's gonna go number 3. I mean, he could definitely go number 3 to Detroit if Detroit doesn't trade out of that spot. I mean, obviously they could still go Okudah, but they could definitely take Simmons at this point.
That's if we don't trade down either. But not even that. There's still some good defensive players that he should. Gil Matos is a fantastic player, and he's like the he's coaching the line that one of our defensive line coaches are now.
Yeah, no. There's a
number.
number of if they go O-line in the first. There's a number of pass rushers. They're not going to be Chase Young, but there's a number of talented pass rushers you get in the second. The kid from Wisconsin, Zach Bond. Yeah, Spencer's dropping down. Yeah, Spence had a bad combine, so he might fall to the second. So they'll be able to get a pass rusher there. But it's just a matter of how you prioritize it. Some Giants fans probably think they should go.
Yeah, I feel like we should dedicate to defense a little bit, and then I feel like if we could just sign Jack Conklin, good big deal. Then we could just dedicate the picks to like the defense. Then that would be perfect.
Oh yeah, no. If we get Jack Conklin, I think I'd agree with you. If we could get Jack Conklin, I would go defense.
That's perfect.
I just I don't know if we're gonna get
guards are nice in there, and then we could drop a center late down the road. We could drop a little offensive center, and then that would be build him up, put him in there, little plug and play type of player, put him in there.
Yeah,
and that's valid. I think we just take out his Simmons, but we need him. He's too versatile. Like he said, the Kelce's and George Kittles, we have to be stopped.
You're right.
He was out there think that of the Giants' defense, and then we hit them with the offense. Saquon Barkley on the ground, running game. Daniel Jones passing game. Darius Slayton on the ends. Then you got Sterling Shepard if he's healthy. Evan Ingram if he's healthy. If he's healthy in the regular season, you still got Kaden Smith even at the back tight end. Nice, good running block tight end.
Yeah,
it's kind of looking pretty good. As far as you just dedicate one thing to the offensive line, I feel like we do some in free agency so we could draft Isaiah Simmons. We could put some picks towards the defense and get a nice edge rusher in the late second pick.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the coaching staff and seeing what they could get about from the players that are currently on the roster. If it was up to me, I think they need to sign a veteran corner. They got a lot of young corners out there in the secondary.
Logan Ryan. I think Logan Ryan's a good fit.
Logan Ryan could be a good fit. I don't want to splurge for Byron Jones. I think he's going to want too much money.
Yeah, I don't like Byron Jones either. He's not really impressing me.
Yeah, but no, I think that's where you got to prioritize it. Whether it's a veteran cornerback, whether it's a McCourty could be a good pickup. Conklin could be a good pickup. So we'll see what they're able to do in free agency and what players want to come here. That's the question at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's also. But I feel like Joe Judge, he's putting a nice, I'd say, mission statement for our team in the NFL right now. People are looking at it like, people saying, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for this dude. He's putting a little good image on.
I'm a fan of Joe Judge, but there's no results yet, so I'm not gonna get carried away. But I like what I've seen so far.
That is true.
But I'm gonna let you go, man. I got a bunch of people calling in. I just want to say thank you for being a great subscriber. Thank you for calling in.
No problem, Tanner.
All right, my man. Have a good one, buddy.
You too, boss.
All right, 1 second. Let me just read this super chat real quick. Slot my Bronco Rob, man. I love that name, by the way. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, Giants fans need to stop. Can you just turn the volume down in the background? I'm sorry. Giants fans just need to stop with this Simmons nonsense. Hybrids don't live up to the hype in the pros. Okudah is a can't-miss prospect at cornerback and is a bigger hole. Listen, man, I've been on the Okudah train for a while, and it would be a coin toss for me. I mean, I like both of them, and you bring up a good point with the hybrids. There are instances where they don't work out. I do think he will, but you could certainly argue that Okudah plays a more important position. You could certainly argue that. Other people will combat and they'll say the linebacker, but if you could get a lockdown corner, which if they feel Okudah is, it may be a more important position. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on? Who's this?
Sam.
What's up, Sam? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? I didn't know if you saw it. It came out earlier today. There's been a thing where Ron Rivera said that he might take Tua and then let Tua and Dwayne Haskins battle it out in camp. Do you think that means anything, or is that just smoke to see if anybody would trade up because maybe they don't want to have the second pick?
Yeah, I saw that. I decided not to make a video on it. I did see it. I don't know if there's much traction behind that video. It didn't sound like it was a very credible source. I know that SNY later posted it. I still think it's smoke. I don't think Ron Rivera would have taken this job. I could be wrong, but I don't think Ron Rivera would have taken this job if he didn't think Haskins at least had the potential to be a quarterback. I think they got to give him another year, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're so enamored with Tua they're going to do it, but I don't know. I think that they're going to go with Chase Young, but we'll see. I hope they go with Tua. I mean, if Tua is great, then that's good for them, but I hope they go with Tua. I don't want them to get Chase Young, even if Young ends up with the Lions, but I still am not buying into those rumors. The only way, in my opinion, at least right now, maybe it'll change, that I see the Redskins not taking Chase Young is if they trade out of the pick, and they'd have to be blown away to do so.
Yeah, I think the only team that could trade up to 2 that could blow them away is probably the Dolphins, and if they were to give up like 3 first-round picks that they have this year.
Yeah, or at least 2 in like 2 seconds. They'd have to get a ton from Miami to trade out of that spot. And at the end of the day, if you're Miami, I don't see them wanting to give up that much. They could probably move up to 3 for a much cheaper cost. So I just don't think it's a good fit. I don't see it happening. I honestly don't see it happening. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to be realistic. I really think Washington is going to take Chase Young.
Yeah, that sucks. I really don't want Washington to have it, because if he turns out, and I think he will, I don't think he'll be a bust. If he turns out, that's probably the next 10 years. What some people would say the best pass rusher in the past few years, better than Garrett, better than all those guys. And our line sucks now, and Jones has a fumbling problems, and Chase Young likes to go for the ball when he gets sacks. That's a little bit scary.
Yeah, and then you have Montez Sweat on the other side, who's got potential talent too. So they'd have a nice young, pass rushing core there for years to come. And that's another reason why maybe the Giants go O-line. They want to be able to block these guys twice a year. So it's going to be interesting. I'll say this: listen, I've been on record saying I want to go offensive tackle, but Isaiah Simmons did have an unbelievable combine. So I'm kind of waiting for free agency to really say what I want. If they go offensive tackle, though, I would prefer the Giants to trade down, because I still think you could get a good offensive tackle at 6, at 7, at 9, so even at 12. So I'd prefer the Giants to trade down if they're going to go offensive tackle. If they want Simmons, they're probably going to have to stay where they are.
Yeah, that Isaiah Simmons is one of those guys that he's big risk. But if he turns out to do what he can, he could probably be the best linebacker in the NFL. There's nobody that you could compare him to. He's kind of like a more in-the-box Derwin James.
He's definitely, he's definitely, I completely get what My Broccoli Rob said. I don't think he's a sure thing because he is a guy, I get the negatives that people have on him. He's not a guy with a defined position. He's a jack-of-all-trades guy, but I do think he translates to the new NFL very well. I think that you need players like him that are it's almost better to have small linebackers in today's NFL, because there's so many passes. They use the tight end so much more than they used to, the running backs, and you need guys that can keep up with those players, not just at the cornerback position, but at the linebacker spot as well.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this year we play the San Francisco 49ers, so if he says he could cover them, he's going to have to prove it if we end up drafting him.
I'd like to see him cover Ertz. Let's start there. He's been killing us for a number of years.
Any tight end's been killing us for the past number of years. Blake Jarwin, I think, has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to need him to get the job done and take care of those tight ends if we do draft him. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think I personally want Okudah. I think if you could get another shutdown corner, that'll make Baker better than he already, or better next year, because he won't have to play the number ones. And even if we don't get a pass rusher like Clowney or somebody in free agency, you could, by holding the receivers down, that gives your pass rushers more time to get there.
Well, yeah, no, that's the argument to go to improve the secondary. One helps the other at the end of the day. I still think the pass rush is most important, but I definitely could see the importance of having a great secondary. One helps the other. There's no doubt about it. But I got a lot of people calling. Sam, I got to let you go. Thank you so much for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Chris.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. And, let me get that super chat. I just had a bunch of people calling, but I got a chance. All right, 1 second. Just want to read this super chat. Lax, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He says, I think you have to go Simmons or offensive tackle in the first round. Okudah is great, but they just drafted 3 cornerbacks last year. If anything, they need a veteran cornerback. And that's a fair point. They kind of drafted 4 cornerbacks, because Sam Beal was a supplemental pick, a 3rd-round pick in last year's draft. So they definitely paid a lot of attention in terms of draft capital to that position. I am not against the idea of bringing in a veteran corner. I think they need to add a corner, whether it's early in the draft or whether it's in free agency. I don't trust, at least right now, Baker is the one and Beal is the two. I think they need another piece there. And hopefully Baker, progresses into that number one. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yo, what up, sexy Tana? It's been over a year since I last called you.
Who's this, Stealth?
Yeah, it's Stealth, all right.
What's going on, Stealth? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I just want to, this probably is going to be the most important offseason for like the next few years. I would even say 10 years. Why? Because you have your third-year running back in Saquon, right, which you spent a second overall pick on. Then you got Daniel Jones. And then you have all these players, and then you have all these rumors that are going around, such as like Matthew Stafford, Isaiah Simmons, totally like blew everyone out of the water in the combine. Right. And then you got like a possibility to get Chase Young. It's just all really interesting. And this is definitely our year where we can either be a great team for the future or, I don't want to say it, but a bad team for the future. So this is basically our make or break year.
I'll tell you what, Stealth. I think you hit it right on the head. I think this is one of the most important offseasons since I've been a Giants fan, because you look at the makeup of the team right now. You got a brand new coach, brand new coaching staff. You've got a second-year quarterback, that you need to address the offensive line, help him out, maybe get him some weapons. And you got Barkley approaching his second contract. He's on the third year now of his rookie deal. You got to start getting this into high gear. And it's the first time in a long time that they've had cap space. So there's a lot of moving parts this offseason, and I agree with you. I think it's a huge, huge offseason. I completely agree with you, and I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and it's all about this Conklin thing, too. I'm just really interested what happens with Conklin because, like, I saw your video earlier about the Jets and everything, but then I realized with the pinned tweet that it's not true. So it's really interesting this offseason, and I don't know how, I'm pretty excited.
I'm very excited. An hour after I made that video, it came out, and I think it was Schefter posted the tweet rebutting it, so I couldn't do anything about that. But I would love to get Conklin. The thing with Conklin, though, I think everybody's going to try to get him, and he's going to cost so much money. But you get what you pay for at the end of the day. So we'll see if the Giants are willing to splurge if they want to address the right tackle in free agency.
Yes, that I agree with that. I mean, you're getting one of the best right tackles in the league, if not the best, run blocker in the league, right? And you potentially have the best running back in the league in Barkley. So just imagine having the best right tackle to block for Barkley, and then you have Barkley, the best running back in the league. Then, in my opinion, I know one wants to say your McCaffreys, your Camaras, or your, Zeke. I don't really think Zeke is the best because of that O-line. But, it's really important. And Daniel Jones, of course, or I should say Daniel Dimes. This is going to be one hell of an offseason.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how it all plays out, man. Stealth, man, you've been with my channel since the beginning. You've been supporting me since the beginning. I always, try to say thank you whenever I see you, man. Thank you for always being a great member of my channel, always support my channel since the beginning.
Yeah, thank you for being the best YouTubers, so,
I
really stick with YouTubers as much as I do. So peace out.
All right, Stealth, man. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. And one second, I just want to read Josh Latore, another great subscriber of mine, with the $5 donation. And what did he say? Let me just make sure. He says, I'm sorry. Hello? You gotta turn down the volume. Got to turn down the volume, guys. Hold on one second. I just want to read the super chat. Josh, man, thanks for letting me. $5 super chat. He says, I love Isaiah Simmons. Reminds me of Roquan Smith and Luke Kuechly coming out of college. Very versatile, can do it all. I think Roquan Smith's a great comparison. And in the video I did today, Roquan Smith, I think he was 2 pounds heavier. I think that's a very good comparison. I think everybody likes Isaiah Simmons. Especially what he did at the Combine. Thank you for calling in. You're in live. Thank you. Who's this?
Hey, it's your brother, Benny Breeze.
Benny! How you been, Benny?
Hey, I can't talk long. I just want to say hello. Still watching you. I got a baseball draft in a couple of minutes. So I just want to talk to you, hear your voice. I enjoy everybody. I see Stealth call. It's good to hear from him. you and I got to get together, call a brother sometimes, and I'll talk to you later. Hope you do some baseball talk, too, because I got to hit a draft now in a couple of minutes.
You got no. I'm definitely going to get the Met content up in a couple of weeks for sure. But Benny, man, love talking to you, man. And yeah, man, definitely we'll do something soon, man. But thank you for the call, buddy.
We'll talk Giants another time.
All right, my man. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Entertainment. This is Freddie Billups.
Freddie Billups, what's going on, man? Yeah, I know Freddie Billups. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, look, man, I love your content, man. I got to ask you a couple questions. The first one, because you said you couldn't talk about the draft, you couldn't predict the draft until free agency came.
Right.
But with Conklin gone now, okay, are we going to go on ahead and get the offensive tackle in the draft? And if so, are we going to do defense in free agency?
Great question. Well, first off, an hour after I made that video, a conflicting report came out from Adam Schefter rebutting what was said. So who knows with that situation? But let's go based off the assumption that we don't get Jack Conklin. The Giants then have a couple of options. You could either A, try to sign a guy like Bulaga, who's 31 years old, who's still a pretty good offensive lineman, try to address the offensive line that way, or B, like you said, I think maybe trade down, but then still address the offensive line in the first round. I think you probably agree with me that the offensive line, both are incredibly important. You need to fix both, but the offensive line has to be paid attention to this offseason. They've got to fix that for their second-year quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do between the draft and free agency.
I thought you said you didn't want an old offensive lineman.
I don't. I'm just telling you what they could do. I don't want an old offensive lineman. I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, and I got one more. Hey, did you see how they do that round table with the Jets? And I mean, when are you and Bad Dog and Kid Blue and them going to get together and do something like that?
We got to. We got to for sure. Matter of fact, I was talking to Kid Blue and OGR, and we're gonna do a I don't know if it's gonna be live. It might be recorded. We got to figure it out. But we're gonna do a mock draft together and talk about the Giants offseason. It'll probably be like an hour video. So we're definitely gonna work together this offseason a lot more. And Bad Dog, we're gonna be working a lot together. He's just doing his own thing right now for the next couple months. But we'll definitely be back together.
Man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Hey, Chris, I'm not gonna hold you up. I know you got a lot of calls. One more thing, I love the way you covered the combine. Keep up the good work, man, and have a great night.
You got it, man. I appreciate the call, man. I really do, man. Freddie, have a good one, buddy.
All right.
Joey Lutz in the house. What's going on, Joey Lutz? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, it's Hebrew lettering.
I'm sorry, who is it? Oh, Hebrew lettering. Yes, yeah.
Big G.
What's up, buddy? What's up, man?
Not much. Let's say the scenario where the Giants trade back with either the Chargers or the Dolphins and they get an additional second-round pick. Would you be opposed to them drafting someone like Laviska Shenault Jr. or Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Ooh, okay, so we trade back. Okay, so give me the exact scenario. What's the trade? What picks do we have?
Okay, they trade back, let's say the Chargers. They get their first-round pick this year, second-round pick this year, and let's say additional second next year. For they have the seventh overall pick.
So 6th pick we get. Let's just assume. Give me the player we took at 6. Who did we take?
Let's say Isaiah Simmons is gone to draft any offensive tackle really.
All right, we draft Becton. Let's just say that.
Becton.
Now your question is, would I couple the 2 picks to trade up to get a receiver, or would I be willing to take a guy like Shenault with one of those 2 picks? What's the question?
Shenault probably won't fall, but let's say Peoples-Jones falls. He had an amazing vertical.
No.
He
has
like the second highest since 2006.
If I won't cry if they got 2 second-round picks and they take a wide receiver. To me, it would have to be a wide receiver that, someone maybe like Shenault, someone that is a clear first-rounder that fell into our lap. That's the only way I would do it. I think they have too many pressing needs. If you went offensive line in the first round, I would want to either get a corner there, I'd want to get a center, I'd want to get a linebacker, I'd want to get an edge rusher. There's a number of players you could go there. Patrick Queen's a possibility. There's a number of players. So I still would wait on the wide receiver. It's such a deep draft at that position. I think they're better off going 4th or 5th round at the wide receiver spot. But that's just my opinion.
Well, like, wait, what edge rushers are there in the second round?
Well, you go with
Boise State.
You go
Curtis
with
Weaver.
You go with Bourne also out of Wisconsin. Possibly Matos out of Penn State if he falls. There's a couple guys that could be there.
All right. I gotta go. Nice talking to you.
All right, buddy, man. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.
And let me just get that super chat by Cruz on with the same super chat as yesterday. $2 super chat. He says 4 offensive tackles will be gone before the 15th pick. I probably tend to agree with you. I mean, well, all right. Let's real quick, Cruz on before we talk. Let me go over the map of the first round. You've got the Giants who could definitely take an offensive tackle. You got the Jets who could definitely take an offensive tackle. You got the Cardinals who could take an offensive tackle. The Jaguars could. There's a number of teams. So yeah, I agree. At least 3 in the first 15, if not 4. I agree with that. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on? Who's this?
Hey, this is Charlie from Brooklyn, New York.
What's up, Charlie, man? Thanks for calling in, buddy.
So I was just wondering, like, we've been through all this combine so far. When you look at guys, like, there's so many good offensive linemen to choose from, and then you got the superstar Isaiah Simmons from the combine, and then you got Okuda. When you look at, like, all these guys that are performing so well with the Giants with so many needs, how do you prioritize one of those positions to be filled?
I mean, it's a great question. And if I was the general manager, the way I would prioritize it, it's not just the draft. You also have to couple free agency, and you have to figure out what's the best way to pair it. What's the best talent I could get in free? Like, they have to think to themselves, is it smarter to spend money on a guy, let's just say Jadeveon Clowney, and an offensive lineman in the first round, or is it smarter to go after a guy like Conklin and get Isaiah Simmons in the first round? And that's the question they got to ask themselves. Me personally, if we could get Conklin, I think that's the perfect answer because that then gives you the flexibility to take.
Yeah, he's young too.
Yeah, he's young. He's going to be 25, 26. He's a run blocker. He helps Saquon Barkley. He then gives you the flexibility to go offensive line in the second round because I still think we could use a tackle or a center in the second round. But then it opens up, I think it gives you more freedom to take a guy like Simmons or Okuda. So that's why I've been so in on trying to get Jack Conklin if we can. But he's going to cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. They're saying he could top Lane Johnson's money of $18 million.
He's going to get paid big. He's going to get paid big because when you look at the market right now, he's by far the best tackle out there when you factor in age. So he knows it, and the teams know it. So everybody's going to be bidding for him. And if the Giants want him, they're going to have to spend like they did with Nate Solder. The difference is I think he's a little bit younger than Nate Solder. Also, Conklin is a much more talented offensive lineman than Solder. I think Solder benefited from being in New England. I just think Conklin's a much better player. So the only thing I worry about with Conklin, and it's a very credible reason to worry about him, is his injury history. That's what you got to worry about with him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what you got to worry about with him. But, yeah, I mean, me personally, if you gave me an option, I would probably say Conklin because he's young and give me the defensive player, whether it's Okuda or Simmons in the first round. But
yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting no matter what, though.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't think we're going to get Conklin. So that's the thing. So we're going to have to wait and see. But we're going to have a much better outlook on the draft in 2 weeks because then we'll know.
Yeah.
We'll know what the Giants team looks like.
Definitely. Well, thanks for taking my call, man. I really appreciate it. I love the stuff you put out.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. 1 second. Let me just read this super chat. Shake Money in the house. What's going on, Shake Money? Says, shout out to the Marlins and Jeter. I cannot, I'm a big Met fan, Shake Money, and I can't wait to have start talking Mets on the channel. Can you just do me a favor, turn the volume down in the background?
Hello?
Yeah, can you just turn the volume down in the background? I'm sorry. I'm hearing the echo.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Shake Money, man. Thanks
for now?
Yeah, I hear you now. You're good now. Thank you for the love, man. I got a couple super chats. I'll get to those in 1 second. But what's going on, man? Thanks for the call, buddy.
Hey, so I just want to give you a shout out for having a great podcast. First off,
I appreciate that, man. Who's this?
My name is Albert, man. I've been a New York Giants fan since I can remember. I just want to, first of all, shout out to all your subscribers for being Big Blue fans, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Nothing better.
Hey, I'm proud of my community. I got a lot of great, educated, diehard Giants fans on my channel, and yeah, man, I love all you guys, man. So, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk
How do
about?
we get back to the '86, LT time? How do we get back? Because that's really what we need to think about.
I think that's the golden question that everybody's got. And my first answer to that is patience, and it's not jumping the gun and doing what we did in 2016, and splurging in free agency on 5-year deals. And we just got to continue to draft well, and Gettleman, has to do a good job in free agency this year. That is huge. And we got to develop our quarterback, and we got to get the pieces around Jones that are necessary for him to succeed. But I mean, at the end of the day, the team's going to be built in the draft, built through the draft, and we'll see what they do in free agency to ease that. And I don't know, in terms of who's going to make the greatest impact if they go defense. It's a great question, whether it's Okuda or whether it's Simmons, because I think they're both very important, and I think they'd both help our defense a lot. I know most Giants fans want Simmons because he's a linebacker, and we've been starving for a linebacker, and since LT for the most part. I mean, I know we've had a couple of good ones, Jesse Armstead, guys like that, but we've been starving at that position for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, being a Giants fan during that phase, we just kind of probably got used to the Giants being the dominant team, and I've lived in Dallas, Texas for a bit, and dealing with the Cowboys, everything is football for them. So, it's been tough the last 10 years, obviously, to watch a team that has such precedent. I mean, every great coach in this league has come through our organization, so it's just difficult. And teams go ebb and flow, but it seems like it's time to get back to our roots, and the roots are on the defensive side.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I definitely preach to fix the offensive line because I do think it's very important. But I'm completely with you. I know this team ain't going nowhere without fixing the defense. The defense is like I forgot who said it. One of my previous callers. The 3rd and 10s, 3rd and 15s, we're giving up every time. That can't happen. You're not going to win football games when you can't get off the field on 3rd down and you can't get after the quarterback. So I'm completely with you. We need to build around the defense, and we need to build around the ground game, like old school Giants football.
Yeah, I mean, and what's great is we have an elite running back right now. I mean, whether we suffered through 3 years of winless teams that I couldn't recognize the New York Giants the last 3 years, but we have Saquon, and coming through that, I think that he's an elite player. I don't see how he's not going to be one of the best. So everything comes around. It takes us a little bit to work through the problems, et cetera. In your opinion, the cornerback position, we keep, filtering through different guys. I don't understand how we can't find 2 or 3 that are consistent.
It's a great question. The Giants have not really had, even when we won those Super Bowls, we didn't really have good corners. The last really good corner we had, and it wasn't even for that long of a period of time, was Seahorn. Ross was okay. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We have not had sustainability at that position, and it's not like we haven't tried. We spent an early first-round pick on Eli Apple. Baker, we'll see. Hopefully he gets a lot better this year. It's a great question, and I think that is part of the reason why Giants fans are hesitant to draft Jeff Okuda, because they've seen the failures at the position. We haven't had a great corner since I've been watching the football team, really. It's a great point. At the end of the day, we need to fix both. We need to fix the secondary, and we need to fix the pass rush, and one's going to help the other. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's just a matter of what you prioritize as the more important need. I would rather get a pass rusher. Unfortunately, the best one is going to be off the board when we pick, most likely.
Yeah. And then let's go back to the head coach, Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I was watching the press release, and there were people hesitant. He's coming from tutelage of one of the best, right?
Two of the best. So, Nick Saban too.
Yeah. I mean, and his way is it takes a little bit of adjusting to, but he's a local guy. I think in the end he's going to really, really fit really well for us. I think it might take a year for him to get all his ducks in order, but I really do think that they made the right choice. of all the guys that we're interviewing and gone to different teams, I think, to be honest, most people might be hesitant initially, given his. I mean, he's not the best guy on camera, et cetera. He's very stern, but I think in the end, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah.
How you feel he's going to play out for the team, because, it's top down, unfortunately, and I think he really has the understanding that it is top down, but he's willing to work with everybody.
It's a great. Listen, man, I can't tell you how it's going to turn out because I've never seen the guy be a head coach before. But what I will say is exactly what you just said, and that's what I really like about this guy. He makes everybody feel important. He brings everybody to the combine. He's a CEO. That's what people have said from the start. He's going to let the guys that he brought on, and I think he brought on a lot of very talented coaches. Burns, the running back coach, very good coach. I think Jason Garrett's going to be a good offensive coordinator, as much as we hate him. A number of guys. I think he brought in a lot of good coaches. Bielema, even though he wants to be off the Giants, it seems. But he's done a really good job bringing in experienced coaches, and he's going to oversee it. I like that. That's the type of coach I want, a CEO-type mentality. Everything you hear about the guy is how smart he is. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table, and I think he's young. I think he's going to bring energy. And from everything you've read with New England, the players relate to him very well. I'm a fan of Joe Judge. I'm going to get behind Joe Judge, and I think it's going to work out. But the thing I continue to stress for Giants fans, got to be patient. You got to give this guy some time.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure. Go Big Blue. I love what you're doing. Great energy.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to let you go.
I appreciate the call, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a great subscriber. Yep. All right, one second. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, 1 second. I just got a couple of super chats I got to get to. Sorry. Tom Ty, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. He says, you rock. Quit your job and do this full time. I would love to do that. That's the eventual goal. I love doing it. I never hide that when people ask me that. I just gotta keep rocking and keep putting out that content, and you guys just gotta keep watching. But Tom, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that. Cruz on with the $2 super chat. He says quarterback, offensive tackle, pass rusher, and cornerback over inside linebacker. So I think that's what you value as most important positions. Quarterback number 1, offensive tackle 2. I'm assuming left tackle. Pass rusher 3. I think that's the right order. That's the exact order I would have. Maybe pass rusher over offensive. I think they're about even. And then you say cornerback over inside linebacker. I might agree with that. But a dominant. We're talking dominant corner. I think I agree with that. And thanks for the love. LIB Hunt's message retracted. I appreciate the donation. And I just got to get 2 more. I'm sorry. I just don't like to miss these.
No, go ahead.
Josh, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. $5 super chat. He says, if you had a choice, would you prefer a combination of Isaiah Simmons and Byron Jones or Jeff Okudah and Yannick Ngakoue? Jeff Okudah and Yannick Ngakoue. I think I would go. Yeah, yes. I think I would go Jeff Okudah and Yannick Ngakoue because with the first pairing, you're not really getting a pass rusher. You're getting Simmons and Jones. I'm not even a huge fan of Jones. I think he's a good corner, but I think you're going to overpay. Okudah, I think, has elite upside, and Ngakoue is still young, and I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet, and he's pretty consistent. So I would go with the second pairing, Josh. And then finally, LIB Hunts, thanks for the man. $5 super chat. He says, I think there will be better corners available in the second round than tackle. Dantzler, Arnett, Johnson, and Diggs could all be there. I'm a big fan of Diggs. I actually had Diggs going in the end of the first round of my first mock draft. It'll be interesting to see where I have him going in my second. I don't even know. But there's definitely some talented corners. There's also, the kid from Florida could be a guy that slips as well. So we'll see. They could definitely go corner in second round as well, for sure. And thank you guys for all the love. Sorry about that. Who is this, by the way?
Hey, Chris Cox.
Whoa, what's going on, Cox? How you been, buddy?
How are you? I'm doing well. Yourself?
Always love talking to Cox. Sometimes he brings a heated opinion, but I love it. I love the passion. What's up, buddy? I'm doing good, man.
Good, excellent. First, I want to preface this by saying I really know nothing of these college players. What I get from the college players is basically with guys like you. For instance, I didn't know that corner didn't have one holding penalty the entire year. Other than Chase Young, I don't think I've ever seen any of these guys play. So I just want to preface what I'm going to say by saying I know nothing about these college players. I basically get it from you. So here's my question, bro.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years.
Cox, you there? You're breaking up.
I'm here.
Oh yeah. Go. I didn't hear what you just said.
Okay. In the last 3 years, we've had, we will have a 2, a 4, and a 6 in the first round.
Right.
First, we took Saquon, who is an absolute stud. He's going to be a great player. He is a very good player. But the bottom line is that I was against that because I wanted either Quentin Nelson or Bradley Chubb because I wanted guys who are absolute studs at their position picking number 2. But even though Saquon is an absolute stud, we didn't have the pieces in place for picking a running back, which is the shortest career lifespan on any place on the football team.
Clark, you're breaking up again. Before you break up again, I'll talk about Saquon first. I completely understand the Saquon mindset, and even though I love Saquon, he's my favorite player in the team, and I'm fully behind him. I kind of agree with your stance there. I love Saquon. I'm glad they took him. He's a leader of the team, and it has nothing to do with Saquon. It has everything to do with what Cruzon just said. The most important positions on a football team, pass rusher and offensive line, are well ahead of a running back, and they didn't have the team established yet to bring in a player like Saquon. And like you said, running back is a short shelf life. So it still could work out because he's probably still got 6 or 7 great years left. But they got to get this thing into gear soon. But I understand why people thought it was a bad pick. I understand it for sure. But go ahead. What's the second point?
No, I agree with you, buddy. But here's my thing: when you're picking 2, 4, and 6, you were talking about Simmons, and I saw him run the 4.39. And I know that you said that this is, and I know nothing about Simmons, but I heard you say that he's a man of many traits. And you didn't say this, but I'm assuming that he's not great at anything. When I'm picking 4, okay, I want the Boses of the world. I want the Quentin Nelsons of the world. I want the Bradley Chubbs of the world, the Josh Allens. We all knew that Josh Allen had 16.5 sacks out of Kentucky. To me, when you're drafting this high, and I don't care what the coach's philosophy is,
right?
When you're drafting this high, you can't go for guys who are very versatile. Then trade down. I want an absolute stud. If you're going to tell me that this cornerback might be one of the greats of all time, like he's a Revis, or I don't know. I know nothing about him.
I don't know.
I don't care how many corners we have, Chris.
Right.
I want him at 4 if we're not going to trade down, because you give me a lockdown cover corner for the next 8 years.
Right.
That's amazing.
I think, hey, listen, man, that's why I've kind of been on I've kind of promoted the Okudah pick. I think a lot of Giants fans have not even entertained the thought. They don't want him. I don't even necessarily disagree with that. Now, what I will say about Simmons, I do think he's great at some things. I think he is a great coverage linebacker. That's what I think he's great. That's what I think he's great at. I think he's going to be one of the best in the league at that. And that's
I could see him definitely matching up to the best tight ends in the league with his length and his speed.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I said. I heard you say something that he rushed 70 times last year with 7 sacks. I'm not doubting his talent. I'm just like Daniel Jones. I'm doubting his talent at number 4. If you're saying he's great at something, then I'm going to go back from this conversation and I'm going to say, okay, Chris said he's great at something. Maybe he is worth a 4. But when I'm picking 4, and you and I were also with this with Daniel Jones, we weren't mad that we took him. We were mad that we took him at 6.
Right.
And that to me is what's bothering me now. Is that I don't care. I heard you in the beginning of the show say that there was a there was a person in your chat that said we already have 3 corners. I don't want another. Well, if this guy's an absolute stud, I want him.
And by all accounts, he is. And he's tall. I think he's 6'1" or 6'2". He's 205. He's not the quickest of guys, but he's still fast. I think he ran a 4.48 last year. By comparison, I think DeAndre ran about a 4.53 or 4.54. So he's about 3 inches taller, 2 or 3 inches taller than DeAndre Baker. He's quicker. Didn't commit a single penalty. He's going to be, I don't know if he's going to be Revis-like, but I think bare minimum, he's going to be a very good cornerback in the NFL. That's what I'll say about Jeff McCoy.
Then I'll take that, my friend. And like I said, I only get my information from you, but I'm just saying, in 3 years, when you're picking 2, 4, and 6, I don't want guys that are just good at every trait. I need studs there. I need the best offensive tackle. I need guys that have the possibility of absolutely being great.
Right.
That's all. If you then trade down if you want to do that. But anyway, listen, I'll let you go. I know you got calls. I'll speak to you soon.
I appreciate it, Clocks. Thanks for the call, buddy.
All right.
Have a good one. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, man. What's going on, buddy? This is Shamari.
Hey, Shamari, what's up, buddy? Great subscriber of mine. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. Hey, I just called to tell you that I believe that the Redskins are going to pretty much stay at number 2, and they're going to probably shake up the whole draft by getting Okudah. And the reason why I say that, because I believe that that is the Redskins' biggest need at DB, with Josh Norman and Landon Collins, who can't cover anybody. Okudah would be a good fit for them because they have the highest paid defensive backfield in the league.
Well, they got
rid
of Norman. They cut Norman. They cut
okay.
Norman. But
Yeah,
the other guy though, Dunbar. I don't know. I'm not a Redskin fan, but last I heard that he was commanding a trade. But they definitely have a hole in the secondary. I don't think they're gonna go with Okudah, but you never know. You never know. I didn't think we were gonna take Daniel Jones, so you never know.
Yeah. I strongly believe Okudah, and then I also watched a couple of Madden 20 rebuilds that a lot of guys are doing. And when the computer simulates the Redskins, they actually go Okudah as well.
Really?
So that's what's real. Yes, they do. And I've seen this on numerous videos that they can't buy a Chase Young pick for the Redskins at number 2. They always go Okudah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you're the Redskins, and let's just say you're right, and they want to go Okudah, wouldn't you try to trade down and get Okudah possibly at 5?
No, because the Redskins owner is Dan Snyder, and he's pretty stubborn, and I don't think he's going to trade down. I think when he gets his guy, that's what he's going to get his guy, whether he overpays him or not. That's usually how he is. So I think they stick at number 2, and the only trade would be for Detroit, because if they can't get Okudah, I doubt they go for Chase Young, and Chase Young probably fall to the Giants at 4.
So right now, today, you're going to make the prediction. You think the Giants are going to get Chase Young?
At 4.
I hope you're right. I would love that pass rusher. We haven't had one for quite some time.
Yep.
You're not going to hear me say it, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Jamal.
Yeah. Because I believe that if the Lions can't get Okudah at 4, I doubt they'll go Chase Young. I just seriously doubt it, because then the trade talks come in, because it's going to be one quarterback already off the board, and that's going to be Joe Burrow. And when the Redskins go ahead and take Okudah at number 2, because they know for a fact Detroit's going to want Okudah at 3, and they're going to listen to what Detroit is going to have to offer to go up one spot. Same way the Bears did Trubisky. They're going to talk because they clearly know they want Okudah, and they're going to say, hey, what do you want to offer?
Huh.
And if not, I'm telling you, and they're gonna go Okudah. I just strongly believe it. The Redskins, they don't really need a pass rusher. They need a secondary. They need a secondary guy more than they need a pass rusher.
Well, that's the argument. That's the argument that a lot of people have brought up, because they are somewhat. They're decent in terms of the edge rusher, and they definitely have other weaknesses, whether it's the offensive line. You got Dwayne Haskins, who's not a very mobile quarterback, or whether it's improving the secondary. So the people that believe that they may not take Chase Young are saying quarterback, or maybe they go O-line. I'm still going Chase Young, but we'll see. We'll see, Shamar. We're going to see very soon.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, but I just strongly believe Redskins go Okudah, because they do have a pretty good defense. And, they have Ron Rivera over there, a defensive-minded head coach, and I'm pretty sure his first pick is going to be defense. And, by him knowing that, their front 4 is pretty already solid. He doesn't have to touch it. He's just going to go Okudah. I think that was his first move, getting rid of Norman, because he got rid of Norman when he was in Carolina. So, or you can blame that on Gettleman.
yeah. Norman seems to blame it on Gettleman, but
but Rivera was the head coach there too. So he was like, hey, look, I'll take the job, but I don't want Norman. I'd rather go ahead and get a guy out of the draft like Okudah, a shutdown corner, and I don't have to pay a whole lot of money for him.
Well, that's the big thing. That's the real reason why he's out of there, is because the money. They save a lot of money on the cap. But man, Shamar, I just want to say, man, you always you're a great supporter of my channel. I always love talking to you, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, take care. But then, yeah. But once again, we have proven that Landon Collins can't cover anybody.
Landon Collins can't cover. Redskins fans found that out this year. And he's probably one of the more overpaid players in the league. But, Shamar, man, I appreciate the call, buddy, man. Have a good one, my man.
All right, yeah. All right, you too, man. Bye.
All right. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
John. God, Jesus. That was bad. Did not want to come on the show and already get something in my throat. But anyway, it's Yankee King.
Yankee King brings hot takes a lot of times. What's going on, Yankee King? How you been, buddy?
All right. But hold up. I got to do a rant.
Oh.
For everybody that's wanting a quarterback, holy Jesus Christ.
Wait. Oh, did you say cornerback or quarterback?
Corner.
Okay.
I know. I should have said CB.
Okay.
CB,
Let's hear your rant. Go
whenever
ahead.
Whenever I say corner, it sounds like quarter, but whatever. Anyway, let's actually not do that. I know Okuda. I've seen Okuda. He plays at Ohio State. I'm from Ohio. I know how good that guy is.
Okay.
He's good.
I know he's good.
But we've had so many picks there. Just let Ballantyne and Baker go. We aren't contending. We aren't doing nothing.
Wait. You're saying let them play. Okay.
Yeah, just let them play. Just let them go.
So you'd make Ballantyne.
You're number one.
You'd make Ballantyne the two. What about Beal?
Beal. You don't know about Beal because of his injury history.
Did you see Ballantyne play last year?
Yes, I know. Ballantyne wasn't that good.
He was horrible.
But obviously, that was with inept coaching. I want to see him this year with actual good coaching before I move on, before I immediately kick him to the curb.
Okay. All right. All right. So
that was a bad rookie year. We aren't doing nothing. I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
I'm going to let you work. I'm going to let you work out what you need to. You're going to be the number 2. Baker's going to be over there at 1.
Yeah. I mean, all right.
Players confidence.
So who do you? So you wouldn't even sign a veteran corner. You would just go with what they got at that position.
Yeah, I'm just going with what they got.
Okay. And what do you want in the draft then?
I want offensive line.
I
know not the sexy name, not the sexy pick, but Chris.
Yeah.
You're how old?
33. 34, actually. My God, I'm 34. I lied. 34.
34. You've been alive for 34 years, a Giants fan, 34 years.
Yep.
How many good offensive lines have you seen from this team?
Well, we had a great offensive.
Realistically.
I mean, our best offensive lines were really between 2007 and 10. Those 4 years. We 6 was pretty good too, but 7 to 10. That 4-year stretch was our golden age in recent history.
Yeah, the golden age was literally at the beginning of the last decade.
Yeah.
And we need to trade back twice. I want to trade back twice. Once with the Chargers, and then I'm calling the Colts.
I mean, anything's possible. I don't think it's very rare you see a team orchestrate 2 trade downs in one draft. Anything's possible. We'll see.
Yeah, but we've never seen that.
I don't want to trade. I want to trade down once. I'd like to trade down. I think the Chargers trade is perfect. I think you trade down to 6, you get 6, you get 37, you get a future second, and then you could fill in a ton of holes. I think that's the way to go. Then you could still take whoever you want, whether it's Simmons, Okuda, offensive line, and then you have 2 picks in a row at 36 and 37. Then you even have the option to take those 2 picks and move back up into the first if a player drops. You can, say
no,
there's.
I'm not moving back up.
I'm just saying.
This team has way too many holes.
No, I'm just saying there's an option there. If a player drops,
yes.
Let's just say.
Gettleman. Well, we know Gettleman.
Let's just say
he could trade up easy.
Let's just say Tristan Wirfs drops and he's there at 23. And you have the ability to couple 36 and 37 to go up and get him, maybe you think about doing it. Just a hypothetical.
If Tristan Wirfs, if it's the offensive lineman that I like, I'll bite the bullet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying,
But
man.
if it's any position outside of offensive line, I'm not doing it.
I hear you. But go ahead. You got one more thing?
I would even trade Barkley.
Oh no.
For a pick in the first round.
Oh no, we're not. First off, you're not getting a first round pick for Saquon Barkley. I'm telling you right now. I hear this all the time. Trade, but not just from you, from a lot of people. Trade Barkley. We're not trading Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's going to be on the Giants. Because teams know.
How much?
Teams know
to hold out.
I don't think he's going to hold out. I think the Giants are going to extend him after the collective bargaining agreement, as long as he stays healthy. I think they're going to extend him on his second contract after this year. I think they're going to do the same thing that the Cowboys did with Saquon. That's my honest prediction.
He's going to want more than what Zeke got,
and he's going to get it
because he's a better running back.
And he's going to get it. The market goes up, he's going to get it. But at the end of the day,
he's going to want what, $100 million?
He probably not that much, but he's gonna. Well, it depends on the length of the contract, but he's gonna get paid. He's gonna be the highest paid running back. And when you draft the guy number 2 overall, you draft a running back that talented. You know that when you draft him, it's inevitable. But I just want to say, man, thank you for the call. I got a ton of people calling in. I got to get to some calls. But thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Hashtag.
And I just want to say thank you, Jesse Rivera, for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, my name is Tim from the Bronx. How you doing?
What's going on, man? I appreciate the call. What's up, man?
I got a whole list of questions here, but I'm going to only ask you a few.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
And if I've been watching live from the beginning, and there's some parts I missed. So if I ask you a question that you already answered, you can skip it.
Yeah, no worries.
So what you think our chances of getting a quarterback, drafting one?
Did you say a QB or CB?
A quarterback, sorry.
A quarterback, a guy who throws the football. I mean, if we're gonna draft one, it'll be in the back end, the back of the draft as a backup. I think there's a 0% chance we're drafting a guy to be the starter.
Oh, and this one ain't really a question, but it was something I was thinking about in my head, and you answered it a couple of streams ago. I was wondering, like, why is the Giants taking so long to rebuild? And then you were saying that we keep changing coaches and stuff, so it's hard to rebuild like that. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that makes like 100% sense.
Well, the other reason I think we took a long time to rebuild, think of it like this. Jerry Reese, 2016, spends all this money, gets the team in the playoffs in 2017, but then after that, everything falls apart. But the cap problem is still there. Yeah. We have just gotten out of cap space hell. We finally have cap space. We have not had cap space since 2016. So, Dave Gettleman, and we're going to have to wait and see and hope it works out. But Dave Gettleman basically, he started from the bottom. He got rid of all the players he didn't want to get. We started from the bottom. We got rid of the veterans. Now he's brought in the guys he wants, the draft picks. We're going to see how he does with free agency. But this is really the first year, in my opinion, since Gettleman has been here, where they're going to have a chance to compete. I'm not going to say they're going to compete, but now you got a second-year quarterback. Last year, if you were being reasonable, you couldn't have expected them to compete with a rookie quarterback. You got a second-year quarterback. You got some cap space. So I think he tore everything down. He got rid of the players he didn't want to get, and he cleared up the cap by trading guys like Damon Snacks Harrison, letting guys like Landon Collins walk, trading Odell Beckham, and now he's got cap space, and we'll see what he can do with it.
So, one more thing. I'm sorry, that's all right?
Yeah, of course, man.
Right. So, I know free agency comes before the draft, but let's say, just for instance, let's say we do get Chase Young, and let's say the top three defensive ends is still on the market. Would you spend big bucks on a defensive end to pair with Young if this was to happen?
Well, first off, free agency is before the draft.
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you okay? So you want me to answer that the other way around? So, let's say they sign Unique Ngakoue and Chase Young was there. Would I then draft Chase Young?
No, because I was saying like how you say it? Just like a chance that defensive ends was still on the market by the time
after the draft.
The draft, yes.
The only way I would see that being possible in terms of a big time free agent, it would have to be a tag and trade scenario, similar to what the Texans did last year with Jadeveon Clowney. And yeah, for the right price, I'd be open for a tag and trade scenario if it was after the draft, similar to last year with Jadeveon Clowney. If a guy was trying to force his way up the team, a guy like Matt Judon or whoever it may be that was tagged and traded. Yeah, because you look what the 49ers did last year. Everybody looks at Bosa. They also had a D4. People forget about that. So you could never have enough pass rushers. We should know that best as Giants fans.
All right, thank you.
You got it, man. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate that. Have a good one. Oh, man, Peter, man, I really appreciate the thank you for becoming a member, Peter Biscardi, man. I really appreciate that, man. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
Hey, it's me, Shake Money. What's going on?
Shake Money. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just, I know you're a big Dolphins. You're one of my best subscribers. Big Dolphins fan. Tell me about your team, because what you guys are going to do is going to have a huge influence on what the Giants are going to do. So what do you think right now the Dolphins are going to do?
Let me see. To be honest with you, man, you're gonna trust me. Next year, you're gonna be the same as me, because one thing about our staff is Judge. You know, Judge and Flores are kind of made from the same cloth.
Yes.
As far as they don't give secrets away, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna go quarterback, because they've done that a couple of times. I remember one year, the year we got Minka Fitzpatrick. There were teams that did not trade up to get Minka Fitzpatrick because they said, "Oh, Dolphins are going after quarterback. We'll get him when he comes," and we end up getting Minka Fitzpatrick because people thought we were going for a quarterback.
Right.
So it could happen this year too. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're going for a quarterback," but they could get Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker.
They definitely could, if he's there. So are you buying into the Tua hype? I know a lot of Dolphins fans are big Tua guys. I don't know if you are or you aren't, but do you think that the Dolphins will fold to the pressure? Not even fold to the pressure. They may legitimately feel like he's worthy of trading up. But do you think at the end of the day the Dolphins will move up to get Tua?
No, I don't think so. That's not in Chris Greer's DNA. Chris Greer, since he's taken over, he has never traded up for nothing. You know what I mean? I like that about him. He's going to stick to his guns, and what it is to be will be. You know.
So you think you stand pat at 5 and you take whoever falls to you?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. I gotta have your buddy on the channel again, because that was a great. I gotta have him on.
Dudley.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, I love that guy. And we gotta talk Mets. He's a big Met fan. So, but yeah, I got him back on the channel. Love that guy. And yeah, he knows a ton. And I'm curious to get his take on Tua, because I know a lot of New York Giants fans are obviously curious about that, because we want to trade down if we can. You know, if the right deal presents itself, and you might be the team that matches with us. Now, all right, let's say hypothetically. Let's say the Lions stamp at 3. We're at 4, you're at 5. Let's say you guys are taking 2, and maybe you're willing to move up 1 spot. That's possible, because maybe you're scared the Chargers could trade up, something like that. That may be the instance maybe where you could see the Dolphins moving up, but you don't see them giving up a lot of assets to go up from 5 to 3.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I have I want to take this episode because I like to have it on record. Like I said, I see. This is my wild card pick. My wild card pick is they're gonna go after the linebacker Simmons, because that's one thing I never. When he did press conference, he mentioned the word. The only person when he does Brian Flores does press conferences, he never mentions his name, but he did mention Lawrence Taylor by name. He goes, "Yeah, if we had a player like Lawrence Taylor, I would." Love to, scheme a defense around that player. And doesn't Simmons kind of remind you of Lawrence Taylor, that guy who could be everywhere and will be a nuisance for every offensive coordinator?
Yes and no. I don't think he's Lawrence Taylor was a pass rusher. Now he was
he's not gonna be. Of course, he's not gonna be in that caliber. But you know what I mean.
No. He's definitely a guy that's versatile and I will agree with this. Flores and Judge, like you said, come from the same mindset. They both hired the same coaches. So Flores, I do think if the Giants were to pass on Simmons, I do think, and I agree with you, that Flores would probably take Simmons if they're not going quarterback because he fits exactly what Flores is looking for. He wants versatility, right? So I agree with you. If you're not going quarterback and Simmons is there, you probably will take Simmons. I agree with that.
And I think one of the things I think they're going to go after Jalen Hurts because one of the things that if you think about, we picked up Chan Gailey. And if you think about it, Chan Gailey and the coach for Oklahoma, I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah. God. Bad Dog loves him. I know who it is. He's the hotshot coach everybody's talking about, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But go ahead.
Yeah, but if you notice, they run similar systems.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
So I would say that they might get their big needs, and I think they'll probably go after Jalen Hurts in the second round. I'm not gonna say this on too many Dolphins podcasts because I'll get a lot of heat from it, but Dean, that you don't give a shit to me. So I'll tell you.
Hey man, we'll see, man. We'll see how it all plays out. I still think I'm gonna do my mock probably in 2 or 3 days, and I still think I'm gonna have you guys taking a quarterback. I don't, we'll see if I have you guys trading up or not, but I still think you guys take a quarterback because you guys have so many picks. But we'll see. You guys obviously have a lot of holes just like we do, so it'll be interesting. Yeah. It'll be really interesting to see what the Dolphins do because what you do could potentially influence who we take. So I just want to say, Shake Money Man, thank you for being a great supporter of my channel. Even though you're not a Giants fan, you always tune in, you always show a lot of love. So I can never say thank you enough, man.
Same here. And before I go, I just want to say the same thing. I think you're a very great, role model for this position that you're in. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
And I hope that more people aspire to be just like you. You know what I mean?
I really appreciate it.
And one of the reasons that made me subscribe to you is when I first saw your video. You said, "Oh, Dolphins are going to get Josh Rosen." I'm like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about." And as soon as we drafted him, I looked you up and I subscribed. I said, "Okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about."
Really? You never told me that. That's the reason why you subscribed, because I said the Dolphins are going to get Josh Rosen? That's funny, man.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, man." Oh, well, I said, "You know what? You earned my respect that day, brother."
That's awesome, man. I appreciate the call, man, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Brother, go Marlins, baby.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. Have a good one, buddy.
All right, man. You too.
All right. 1 second. Just want to get the super chat from Cruzon. Cruzon with a $2 super chat. He says, "I prefer instinctive linebackers over athletes at linebacker." Yeah. You know what? I kind of prefer both, if that makes sense. Devin White was pretty athletic, and he's kind of an instinctive linebacker. But I completely get what you're saying. He's not your prototypical linebacker. I get what you're saying. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Okay. It's Bigger Mike. How you doing, Santa?
Bigger Mike. Is this Bigger Mike, Biggest Mike, Big Mike? Which Mike is it?
It's Biggest Mike, but Bigger Mike because it goes off the tongue better. But you got the idea.
What's up, Mike? What do you want to talk about, buddy?
I got some hot takes. Got some hot takes for you.
You always do. You always do.
Yep. So Carlos, Sperm Cell, Gabe, Andy, it's a you can all suck it. I don't care if you like them or not, but it's fake facts. Cuz all right, here we go.
Let's hear them.
All right, hot takes. Ben Simmons is better than Pascal Siakam. Ben Simmons is a top 5 point guard this year. Kurt Warner is a false Hall of Famer. Steelers are sleepers for next season. Campbell Walker is not the best player on this team. Rudy Gobert is mega overrated. And Embiid is better than Jokic by a mile, and if you think otherwise, you're retarded. And LeBron is a better player than Jordan, but Jordan's the GOAT, and there's a difference. Yeah, that's right, dadgummit.
I'm not going to remember all of those. I'm still going to say Jordan's the GOAT. I agree with you on Ben Simmons and Siakam. What was the football with Kurt Warner?
I said he's a false Hall of Famer.
A false Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner is a really interesting topic. We were actually talking about this in my Discord the other day. I don't know if you were in the conversation when we were talking about it. There's only a number of quarterbacks in my lifetime that I could say were the best quarterback in the sport at any point in time, and he's one of them. He's one of probably 5 or 6 quarterbacks. I think you can't even say that about Drew Brees because Drew Brees had Peyton Manning and he had Tom Brady. But Kurt Warner was definitely the best quarterback in the sport for a year or two. But outside of those 2 or 3 years, you're right. He's not a Hall of Famer. It's definitely interesting. And the other thing you could say about Kurt Warner is if he never ended up with the Arizona Cardinals, if they never go on that run where they go 9-7, here's what I'll say. If Plaxico Burress doesn't shoot himself, Kurt Warner's not a Hall of Famer. Because I think the fact that the Cardinals made the Super Bowl that year, which I think the Giants would have, that put him over the top. So if Plaxico Burress never shoots himself, I don't think Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer. I don't. Yeah.
Indeed. So like, yeah, that's.
Anything else, my man?
Not really. Not really sure why I called in just to say that. Could have really talked to you about it.
No, Mike's awesome. I always love talking to Mike. One of my best. I always love talking to him in the Discord.
I choke on these call-ins every single time.
No, that's all right, man. We're gonna kick your Eagles' ass this year, though. Don't worry about it.
Oh, got the hack up, Archie.
I'll talk to you later, Mike. Have a good one, buddy. 1 second. Just want to get to the super chat right here. Peter Biscardi with the $2 super chat. He says, I feel like Becton is a bigger Eric Flowers, and I think he said that he's a bust. My chat's going slow right here. Becton is definitely he's definitely more athletic than Eric Flowers was. Eric Flowers was probably a little bit stronger. I think he did 37 on the bench press. But I definitely see the comparison between the two. Obviously, I hope Becton's a lot better if we do draft him. Becton's bigger, and I think he's more nimble than Eric Flowers ever was. But I could see why Giants fans are scared of him. He's a guy that nobody really even talked about, being near the top of the draft until about 3 weeks ago. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's going on, Adam Taylor? It's JJ from Brooklyn. How you doing, my man?
JJ, what's up, man?
Nothing, man. Doing good, man. I just want I actually agree. I was actually calling to say that about Becton. To me, too, he's probably the biggest boomer bust from all the tackles. So I would be most worried about him. If he booms, I think he could be great, but I think there's the biggest, he could, to me, he has the biggest bust potential of all those tackles at the top. So I would be a little worried taking him that early.
Hey,
if the Giants decide to do that.
I think it's a fair concern. I think it's a fair concern, and I agree with you. I think he may have the highest potential.
Right.
But from, I try to watch as much film breakdown as I can. I listen to what the guys have to say, and he definitely has some things to work on. The hands, that's what everybody says. They say he doesn't extend his arms enough, needs to get more technically skilled, but the potential is off the charts. So I definitely see why people want him. It's a tough one. It really is. It's a tough one there. I think a guy like Wills, for example, is probably a lot safer. But he definitely has.
Wirfs is safe.
Wirfs.
Yeah.
I think.
Why do you think? What do you think is happening with Andrew Thomas? For all year long, top 5 pick. Now it seems like, I know he didn't have a great combine either. But even before that, it seemed like, I don't know, he was falling a little bit. Why do you think that is?
I did a video on that. I don't know, about 5 or 6 days ago, and it's a great question because Andrew Thomas, you go back 3 weeks ago, a month ago, he was the consensus #1 tackle. And he's got the results. Didn't surrender a sack. I think he surrendered 1 QB hit. He's a left tackle. I think my honest opinion is this. I think people, because he was rated so highly, were looking for flaws in his game. They analyzed the film. They probably found a couple of flaws in his game. And they looked at the other prospects and maybe thought that they were better than they initially thought, and he moved up. Andrew Thomas even had a pretty solid combine. It's just that the other offensive linemen all had great combines.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't spectacular like Becton and Wirfs or anything.
Yeah, and even Wills had a great combine. So, but we'll see because Thomas actually did better in the 3-cone drill than Wirfs did. So a lot of people say that that's the more important drill. So it's going to be up to the scouts at the end of the day and to see what they say. And we just got to trust the Giants' judgment because it seems like all 4 of them are kind of bunched together, and I think it's going to be a matter of preference for the team that's picking.
Right. So let's say, I know most mock drafts, I don't know if I've seen any, had Simmons going to Detroit. Does that seem like a definite, they're not taking Simmons?
I don't know. I think Detroit. Detroit is a tough one to predict because now you're hearing rumors that Stafford wants out. You've heard rumors that they could potentially be trading down, taking a quarterback. I personally think the draft starts with Detroit because I still firmly believe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I still firmly believe Chase Young's going too, and I think Detroit could shake up the draft, whether it's a trade down, whether it's taking Simmons, whether it's taking Okuda, or taking a quarterback.
I've seen all have them taking Okuda. So say they took Simmons, right? Obviously, most Giant fans want him. What do you do then? You trade down and just take, say the 8 or 9 and take the best tackle available on your board?
I think your two options there are stay put, take Okuda, or trade down, or stay put, take an offensive lineman. But ideally, if I'm not taking Okuda, because I think if the Giants wanted Okuda, they'd have to stay there. But if they're not taking Okuda, ideally, you have to look. I would look to trade down.
Right. And what's your from all the tackles, what's your list? The top 4. Who do you rank? Number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
It is so tight.
Right.
I really like Wills. That's why I had Wills being mocked to the Giants in my first mock draft. The only thing with him, 1, people say he commits a lot of penalties. 2, he's...
Oh, yeah, a lot of false starts.
Yeah, a lot of false starts. 2, he's a right tackle. He's not a left tackle, but he was the blindside protector for Tua. But I really like him. I really like Andrew Thomas, even though people seem to be giving up on him. I do really like him, and I really like Wirfs.
Jets might end up getting a steal there, the way that people are talking about it. Obviously, the Jets need a tackle. I could see them getting a big break and him falling to 11 the way things are going now. So, for the Jets fans out there.
It's a tough decision, man. It's a tough decision. I don't know, man. It's real. I really like Wirfs. Obviously, he had a great combine. The only thing I worry about with him, people project him to be a guard, or they say that's his best position. So it's really tough for me. If they're taking offensive line, I want them to trade down and just end up with one of the 4. That's what I want.
Yeah, right. And the thing with the Okuda too, man, I wouldn't have a problem if they took him. I just think Giants fans are so, and deservedly so, of all the corners they've taken over the recent years, and most of them have been busts. I mean, you can't call the ones that are bust that they just drafted last year, but they didn't look great. So they'll just, Giants fans will be like, oh, again, another first-round corner that's going to stink. But he looks different than those kids. I think he looks great, man. So I'm not going to say,
You can't judge past failures off of this draft.
Right.
Gettleman has not, Gettleman's not the same GM as Jerry Reese was. Okuda's not the same cornerback that Eli Apple was. So you can't you can't judge past failures off of why you wouldn't pick a guy from a position. I think the biggest argument against Okuda for most Giants fans, though, isn't even necessarily that they think he's a bad prospect. I think it's that they feel like there's more pressing needs. I think that's the argument.
Yeah, and also people say, he had a great pass rush, so if the Giants, he'll have to cover for longer and whatnot. So I get that too.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all passionate New York Giants fans, and we all have our own opinions. And there's a number of ways that they could go, and we just hope that they get it right at the end of the day. The one guy I don't want that nobody's talked about is Brown. I don't want the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
That's the one guy I don't want.
Yeah, right. He had a bad combine, man. Really bad.
Yeah, I don't want him. I don't. I want to get either a linebacker. If we're going defense, I want to get a linebacker or Okuda in Simmons or Okuda. That's what I'm looking at.
Right. Well, like you said, they have cap space, so a couple of weeks. I can't wait for agency. So who would be your top, say, 2 or 3 targets for the Giants
in free agency?
Yeah, in free agency. Yeah.
Conklin's my number 1. And then, I'm going for more, like I've said, I'm going for more cost-effective guys. I think these edge rushers are going to be way overpriced. You're talking $21, $22 million, and they've all got question marks. Like Clowney's had injury history. Ngakwe's been very good, but not great. None of them are worth that money, in my opinion. I would go for more cost-effective guys. McCourty might make sense on a short-term deal to shore up the secondary. A guy like Van Noy, I've expressed. There's a number of guys, But I would take the more cost-effective approach outside of Conklin and try to maintain cap space for these younger players when you want to keep them on the team.
Right. All right. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for all the time. Have a good night, all right, bro?
You got it, buddy. Thanks for the call, man.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
Have a good one. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
What's going on? Who's this?
I want to test your knowledge. It's the one that always says it's your BFF online.
What's up, man? What's up?
Come on, you gotta know this answer, bro.
Oh! You're asking who are you? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to test your memory because I noticed you got pretty good memory, so I'm testing your knowledge.
BFF. I know the voice. I know the voice. I know I've talked to you.
Come on, Mets, Giants, Knicks.
There's a lot of Mets Giants. There's a lot of Mets
It's
Giants.
Ivan.
Oh, Ivan, what's up, buddy? What's going on, man? What's up, man? How you been?
No, I read this. Like, one of the things I've been doing my little homework for the last couple of weeks. Yo, I would love to trade down, but to be honest with you, the more I look at it, dude, I really want fucking Isaiah Zim after that performance yesterday. One of the things, I don't know if you read this article, but they had like an analysis, because I know one of his downfalls is his size. But I'm going to give you a list of 5 guys that exactly the same weight and height when they came out of the combine.
Yeah.
Luke Kuechly, Carl Banks, Clay Matthews, Harry Carlson, and our number 1 linebacker of all time, exactly the same weight and height was Lawrence Taylor as Simmons.
That's interesting.
And the funny thing is, Simmons is faster than all of them, so it's kind of like, I've been thinking about it. I'm like I know you had a talk about tight ends covering a couple of weeks ago, but this guy could show up the middle, and I think the next guy, I think should get Middleton from the St. Louis Rams. I think with that combination of them two, coverage-wise, and that would be a solid 2 linebackers. Because one of the things obviously always kills us is the damn tight ends, the people being open right in the middle on the slot. Think about that one.
Oh, wow. I mean, if you signed Middleton and drafted Simmons, wow, you would have a very versatile linebacking core. Both those guys are great in coverage. That's a little overkill at the position because you're spending a lot, but on Littleton and free agency. But if you had that duo, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but you got to consider like all the talks. Like I don't know if you. I mean, the Giants are planning to play 3-4, 4-3, 5-2. Like they're
and plus you could move Simmons around. You can move Simmons around too. You can play him at safety. That's the other guy. I should have thrown his name in there because that is another guy I love. I did my first free agency video on Littleton, so I would say he'd be the other guy I'd be willing to spend big on under the right circumstances. I'm not going crazy, but I do like Littleton a lot as well.
Keep in mind he's not that old. I mean, obviously this is his first big contract, but I mean, according to like a couple of the websites that tell you what the projected, I mean, he should be around that 13 or 15 million. And, you know, obviously kind of like what you said, I think we should do that one big splash, which would be him, and then do like a little, like, you know, like a 2-year for the safety for the Patriots, and then a combination of maybe getting a decent left tackle, and then worry about that one in the draft. But obviously, the free agent is going to determine everything. But at the end of the day, like I was thinking about that, we got those 2 linebackers that will basically protect us while being killing us in the middle. And then obviously the other thing is we definitely need a slot corner. The slot corner I was looking into is
Ryan.
And a lot of the coaches that we have are, you know, like they become buddies obviously with a lot of these players. So I think a lot of these players might consider the Giants for that reason, you know. And I know you got people on the line, so I'll cut it out there.
No, man. I always love talking to you, Yvonne, and hopefully I'm definitely going to have the Mets content up in a couple of weeks, so I'll definitely have some videos on that. I'll be streaming some Met games, so hopefully you stop by for that. And, hopefully the Mets have a good year for us as well, man. Thanks for the call, buddy.
No problem.
All right, have a good one. What's going on? You're on live. Just 1 second. I just want to get the super chat from one of my best. Barboski, what's going on, man?
What's going on? You're on live. Just 1 second. I just want to get the super chat.
Hello.
Yeah, could you just do me a favor? Just turn the volume down in the background.
Hello.
Yeah, could you do me a favor? Just turn the volume down in the background.
Yeah, could you just do me a favor? Just turn the volume down in the background.
Thank you. I think it's good now. Thank you. Barbo, I just want to. 1 second. I just want to read this super chat from Barboski. Barboski, thanks for the love, man. He says, hey, man, keep up the great work. Content has been A+. Tried getting through, but gotta go to bed. Peace and God bless, man. I appreciate the love, man. Barboski, one of my best. And I know you like Okuda. So hopefully you're dreaming about Okuda when you go to bed. But what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yo, what's up? It's me. I mean, I don't, you don't know me, but I'm Sai from California, and I gotta confess something to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a Redskins fan, so
that's okay. I welcome all fans on my channel. As long as you're respectful, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the work that you do, and there's this huge discussion in your chat. I don't know if you know, but like, my boy, I think Chuck, he's another Redskin. He's a commentator.
Oh, Chuck Sharts is great. He's one of my best subscribers. I talk to him in my Discord all the time. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, so there's like a huge Haskins Tua thing going on, and I want your opinion on it because I want to see if Tua possibly goes number 2, and the Lions may be drafting a quarterback, maybe number 3. Chase Young is there. Will you and should you pull the trigger?
Oh yeah.
Or would you?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I don't even think twice. I literally get that, they're going to be coming in on the boat. I drive the boat right over to Chase Young and I bring him up on the stage in Vegas. Yeah, I do not think twice. If Chase Young is there at 4, it's a no doubter.
Okay. And I was looking at the national media. It's all so much smoke going on with the number 2 pick, and I wanted your take. If you were the Redskins, maybe not Dan Snyder, but if you're Ron Rivera, what would you do with Haskins? Would you give him another year, or would you be like, I'm out, I want a new quarterback, it's my system? Or would you want to give him, this is your last chance to impress me, or what would you do with Haskins?
You know what, man? I don't know how long you've been with my child. I was a fan of Haskins. I think Haskins, if he's developed properly, has the makings of being. He's not gonna be great, but he could be a good quarterback. There's no way I'm quitting on Haskins yet. Haskins played pretty well for you guys down the stretch. He got thrown into the fire way too early. He only played 13 games in college. He wasn't ready yet. I think Haskins made a mistake in terms of his development. Declaring for the draft last year, I think he should have waited another year. In terms of the money in his pockets, he made the right decision, because I think if he would have waited this year, he risked going in the second round. But yeah, no, I think if I'm the Redskins, I gotta give Haskins another year.
Okay, yeah. And,
unless they're just completely over the top in love with Tua, but if I was a Redskins fan, I would not want them taking a quarterback. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, I mean, the reports we've been seeing, it's just Ron Rivera, he's having meetings with Tua, and then it's just all due diligence, I guess, for me. And because you want to see what other teams are looking at and how they're rating Tua and Burrow and other players. And Chase Young, I think he openly said the interviews that he's impressed with was with the Redskins. He wants to play with the Redskins. He grows up in the Maryland area, and I feel like it's a no-brainer. And I don't know why it's so unclear about the number 2 pick, because I feel, for me, it's give him the jersey right now. What's taking so long?
First off, at the end of the day, people need interesting stories. So people are going to try to dig up rumors. They're going to try. I know as a YouTuber, I don't try to make things up, but when I think there's an interesting rumor that comes out, I try to make a video on it. And it's the same thing with everything else, and that's what's going to happen as the draft approaches. I do think that the Redskins are at least leaving open the possibility of trading down. But they got to be blown away. It's got to be a monumental offer. But I don't think that if they stay at 2, I honestly don't think they're drafting anybody but Chase Young. That's my honest opinion.
Okay. And last question, and I'm just maybe throwing something Giants related. I don't know much about your roster, but I know you have Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Evan Ingram, and your latest rookie, Darius Slayton.
Right.
And your young tight end, you drafted, I think, late.
We actually picked him up. He was an undrafted free agent. He was drafted in the...
undrafted.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. He was drafted, but he was released by the 49ers. He was a 6th-round pick, Caden Smith.
Oh, yeah. So do you feel like you guys kind of need to add at the receiving position, or maybe try to draft a backup?
Yes.
Yes. Maybe late round?
Both, actually. I've expressed that a lot, but both in the later rounds. I think if they could get, the 4th and the 5th round, they take a running back and wide receiver, I'm completely for that. Or they could address the backup running back in free agency. But yes, I definitely, because Gallman hasn't gotten the job done. And maybe he can now. I don't know. He's still young. It's his 4th year, I think. So we'll see. But they definitely need to improve that backup running back position. And yeah, they need a tall wide receiver. They don't have one. But I do think you could get one in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, it's pretty deep wide receiver class.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And
you got it, buddy.
Thank you later.
I appreciate the call. Thank you for being a great subscriber. And let me get to a couple of these super chats. Lionheart, man, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. He says Simmons, Bourne, Carter, and Zimenez. 1 second, just want to read off these super chats. Simmons, Bourne, Carter, and Zimenez, the new crunch bunch. From your lips to God's ears, we have not had a crunch bunch since I've been watching the team, and that would be a pretty good. Now the only thing with that is unless you go offensive line in free agency, I don't see them going 2 defensive players in the first 2 rounds. But maybe they get Conklin. But yeah, that would be I like Bourne a lot. That's why I made a video on him in the second round. And Slob on my broccoli, Rob. Let me get this one real quick. Love that name again. He says we have Love and Peppers. Who do we want? Why do we want a safety? Well, and that's a fair question. But you can convert Love to the slot corner position. So you certainly could do that. A lot of people said Love could play slot corner. You could do that. He has versatility, something that Joe Judge loves. And OGR, love this guy. OGR, $5 super chat. If you have not done so, going over there and subscribe to him. He says, "What's good, my man? I am off the bed, but wanted to stop by real quick to show support." I really appreciate the love, man. And OGR just hit 500 subscribers, so I want to say congratulations to him. And Shake Money with some love there. He says, "Do you know what is going on with Tebow and the Mets?" Yeah, he sucks. He's like 33 years old. He's playing in the farm system. And I know you probably love Tebow. He's a Florida guy. But he's not very good. I think he batted like 200 last year for the Mets. He was pretty good the year before. He batted like 260 and had like 16 or 17 home runs. I think he's a AAA guy. I don't think he's ever going to make the big league club. But I love Tebow. And, you know, maybe he'll get a chance one day. I don't think he'll ever make the big league roster, though. What's going on? You're on live. Sorry about that.
Yes, I am downstairs with 5 pounds of cannolis for the one entertainer talking sports.
Mike Nixon is on the line. How you doing, my man? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just maxing, relaxing, talking to some of the best Giants fans on YouTube, including yourself.
Yes, sir. So, I want to bring something up. Everybody talks about getting Jedrick, getting Worse, Thomas, Becton, and yeah, they're all great. But you want to know somebody I think that's going underrated now after talking about all these people?
Who's that?
And we can get him in the second round. Austin Jackson, USC.
A lot of people like him. I've read conflicting reports about him. So I don't know. Are you outside? I hear a lot of wind.
Oh no, that's just me on my phone. My fault.
Oh no, I'm okay. But no, I've read conflicting reports on Jackson. A lot of people like him. A lot of people think he's but in the second round, if we don't go offensive line, that's certainly a guy we could. I think they will be potentially taking a look at as a potential second round offensive tackle.
Because for me, that's what I would do because you already know who I want at number 4 entertainer.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're in the minority there. I think a lot of New York Giants fans are on the Isaiah Simmons train.
It's only because of what Joe Judge wants to do. If Joe Judge wants his way, he'll get Simmons just because of the versatility factor.
I agree, and I don't at the same time. If they're going defense, I agree that he wants Simmons. But I do think Joe Judge is definitely a trenches guy as well. I definitely think he's, from everything you've heard about the guy, he believes that football is a physical game, is one in the trenches. So if they go offensive lineman, I know a lot of people say that's a Gettleman pick. I don't necessarily believe that. I do think that Joe Judge values the offensive line a lot. So I think it's going to be a collaborative pick regardless. But, yes, if they go defense, I do think that Joe Judge would be leaning Isaiah Simmons for sure.
I just after yesterday, he just impressed me that much more. I mean, it's just that we really didn't get to see him do drills, but I mean, do we really? You know what I mean? After what he did.
I mean, I said in the video today. I mean, it was beyond impressive when you look at it from an historical context. He had a longer broad jump than who was it? Alvin Kamara, I think. He had a higher vertical leap than Julio Jones. He ran a faster 40 than Devin Hester, and he's 238 pounds. So I mean, it was beyond. It was one of the better combines I've seen. It was a great performance by Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, man, and I mean, something just wants to tell me, and trust me, me and little Me and Chuck kind of had a little heated debate earlier that got heated, but I apologize to him. But I don't want them to go quarterback just because it's the same thing as I said last year. I don't believe in giving up on a quarterback after 1 year, but I just have a feeling. That it may happen. That you say it starts at 3 the draft. It might damn well.
You know
start
what?
At number 2, entertainer.
I won't rule anything out. But here, and I think a lot of people, as I've said in some of my videos, they look at the Cardinals situation. I see the Super Chats, guys. Hopefully you didn't leave. I'll get to them after the next caller. I think a lot of people look at what the Arizona Cardinals did last year. But the difference is the Arizona Cardinals had a system. They had the air raid offense, and Kyler Murray fit it to a T. I don't view Ron Rivera as a system guy. I could be wrong, but I think he came in knowing that Dwayne Haskins was his quarterback. Who knows, though? The Redskins, who knows?
Like I said, I hope so.
The Redskins do off-the-wall things, so anything's possible. I won't rule it out, but I'm not expecting it.
And for me, if it came up to that situation of Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons, you said it's easy, but it's hard for me. After seeing what Isaiah Simmons did yesterday and just how versatile it is, and that's me. I love versatile players, whether it's on defense and whether it's on offense. And one of my favorite offensive versatile players that I always loved was Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin was a very versatile player. Got hurt a lot, but he was a very versatile wide receiver.
But that's just me. I like the versatility. I like people that can do multiple things. Look at the Honey Badger. He could go down there and play slot corner, can go there and play outside corner, can go out there and play safety.
Hey, I think there's some Giants fans that agree with you. I think there's some Giants fans who at least think they would either take Simmons or think it's close. I just think a supreme edge rusher, it's a much higher success rate. You look at the last 4 drafts. I say it all the time. All those guys that went at the top of the draft are all Pro Bowlers. So I think
that's what I did today when I did a mock draft with a couple of my friends. We did that, and I had that same situation where Chase Young and Isaiah Simmons was there, and I ended up taking Chase Young. But I will say one thing: if Isaiah Simmons falls and these quarterbacks go falling, you know who I can see Isaiah Simmons going to, and watch out, because if they get him, that defense is going to be set, and then they can just work on their offense a little bit more.
Who?
I could see him going to the Los Angeles Chargers at 6.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked. That's
and that's the speed all over the place. You got Bosa, who's got speed. Melvin Ingram, you got freaking Derwin James coming back from injury. They would have speed all over that defense, and exactly what they need in that, especially when you go against Kansas City twice a year.
The Chargers are going to be interesting because, we'll see if Tom Brady goes there. I think it's a possibility, and that would change everything in terms of our, possibility of trading down with them. I still think there's a good chance he stays with New England or goes to the Raiders. But if they don't add a quarterback in free agency, I still think the Chargers are going to go quarterback. But I could be wrong.
I mean, they could. I mean, I'm gonna say this right now. If I had to guess, if I really had to make a guess right now, I'll say that Chase goes to the Redskins. And I hope he does. I mean, it'll suck that we'll have to play against them, but that's the best available player. And yeah, they got Montez Sweat, but you need somebody for that other side. It can't just be him.
Yeah,
I mean?
Yeah. No, we'll see, Mike, man. I got to let you go, though, because I got like 3 people calling in. But, Mike, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you for everything you do for my channel. Thank you for being a great subscriber, buddy.
No problem. I guess I'll probably see you later on in the Discord, and we'll talk.
You will, my man. You will.
Now go downstairs and get them goddamn cannolis so you can eat them, and we can get a 24-hour stream.
All right, man. Have a good one, buddy. 1 second. Just want to get to these Super Chats real quick. Independent Outsider, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. $5 Super Chat. He says, love your and Bad Dogs game calling ahead of networks whose coverage I have issues with. What tandem do you see for the Giants? I want Simmons and Littleton. You're saying linebacker tandem? Listen, that linebacker tandem would be phenomenal. I don't think that'll happen. I could certainly see them getting one. And I think you'll probably have a platoon there with the other one, whether it's David Mayo, bringing him back. I don't think they're going to end up with both. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But if they were able to get that tandem, the Giants might have the best middle linebacking core in the league. That would be a very versatile, very talented linebacking core. Yvonne, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. He says, still hurt. You don't know your BFF. Let's go Mets and Giants. Yvonne, man, I appreciate the love, man. And next time, I will try my best to recognize your voice. And let's go Mets. And Argenis, man, thanks for the love, man. I hope I pronounced that right. Maybe it's Argenis. $5 super chat. He says, my man, not a big Haskins guy, so I'm all for the Skins drafting Tua and the Finns trading for Herbert. Chase Young at 4. Come to us, baby. From your lips to God's ears. I think a lot of Giants fans would love to see Chase Young at 4. I got a couple more. I just want to read these. I'm sorry to keep you on hold. John Letourneau, man. Thanks for... John Letourneau's one of the best, man. Even though he's an Eagles fan. I forgive him. $2 super chat. He says, stand up. You're the man. Stand up. I appreciate it, man. And Peter Biscardi with a $2 super chat. He says, draft Okuda, sign Littleton, Ngakoue, legit defense. You add those 3 pieces, you've got a cover corner, you've got a coverage linebacker, and you've got a guy that can get after the quarterback. I don't know if they'll do that. That's going to be a lot of money between Littleton and Ngakoue, but yes, that would certainly upgrade the defense in a big way. But thank you for calling in. Who's this?
Hi, this is Brandon Milani. I've called him before. How you doing?
What's going on, Brandon? Thanks for the call, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was really enjoying this draft coverage lately. I know there's been a lot of buzz about Simmons. I actually have a question. My first question. With the release of Jenkins, I was actually talking to my buddy about this earlier because I know Okuda was talked about to the Giants just a little bit. I know these are all, in my opinion, like way too early mocks in general because I know things change.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about the corner position going forward? I know we're expecting a bigger year from DeAndre Baker, but now with the loss of Janoris Jenkins, I know this position's kind of just a bit of a question mark. Are we expecting Sam Beal to maybe step it up? I know he had a pretty good second half of the year now that he was better, but I was just wondering what your thoughts were on corner defense-wise.
I think it is a great question, and it's why I continue to stress Jeff Okuda as a possibility. I think a lot of Giants fans just say that it will not happen. I think the corner position has potential, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out. Think about all the early draft picks we've spent on cornerbacks, and it's not like any of these guys have displayed that they're good corners yet. DeAndre Baker, who I think is going to be good this year. I think he will take a step, but I can't tell you definitively he's going to be. And Sam Beal's had more injuries than any player in the league. I mean, the guy can't stay on the field. So I do think they need to address the corner position, whether it's in the draft or whether it's in free agency. And I'm not comfortable going into the year with DeAndre Baker as my 1 and Sam Beal as my 2, if I'm being completely honest. I hope that Baker could mold into a 1 this year, and I think he can, but I can't tell you going into the year that he's a 1. He's not.
Well, the other thing is, I know it's unfortunate because I'm sure like every other fan listening, I remember Max Kellerman had a thing on First Take when he was talking about the Daniel Jones pick. When the Giants are not good, as a fan of the Giants, your life is a certain percentage worse. So I knew that either way, I thought that was a joke. Your life is a certain percentage worse. So I knew that either way, we were going to be – I'm a little upset when the Giants aren't good. But ideally, we have to accept the fact that things are going to take time. So I was joking with my buddy, like, no matter who we pick it for, it's going to be a quality player, and we need a lot of pieces.
That's it, man.
So,
that's the way. That's the way you got to look at it, And I think the way you got to prioritize it is what is the most – important that's why, because I recognize we have so many holes. We've got linebacker holes, we've got cornerback holes, we've got offensive line holes, but knowing that we have to fill all those holes and knowing that it's not all going to happen in 1 year, I look at it like we got a second-year quarterback. We got a running back, and if we can improve the offensive line and improve the ground game, it in turn will make a bad defense maybe look mediocre. And not to say that I don't want to improve the defense in free agency and the draft as well. But if you could get that ground game going and win the time of possession, it's going to keep the defense fresh, and it'll make the defense better. Just common sense, being able to control the clock, something that the New York Giants have not been able to do in forever. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, they all need to be fixed, and it's going to take take a couple of years. It's not going to happen in 1 year. I think it might take 2. Yeah.
No, I agree, and that's what's unfortunate. Like I always joke, because all my buddies are big Giants fans, just like me, and I always joke with them. I'm like, I know we want things to be fixed overnight, but if we're being realistic, to get back to that winning, maybe even like a 12-4, 11-5 type team, this is a 1 to 2 year process.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. that's unfortunate. Well, it's not to say we can't be good. I mean, we saw the San Francisco 49ers turn around immediately, but they also had, they had Eric Armstead, they had a bunch of guys, Nick Bosa, they just added a bunch of guys. So it's not impossible. I know you're really psyched about this coaching staff. So am I. I'm a firm believer that management has more to do with the players anyway. So nothing's impossible, but that's why, people always, this year, the good news with the Giants, everyone freaked out about Daniel Jones. I know you did at the time too.
Oh, yeah.
So did I. The good news is this year, in my opinion, at least we know they can't screw up, because I really do agree, and I'm sure you do. I know you're only one of the only Giants guys I know on YouTube, which I like, who gives Gettleman credit, because I think he does do a lot of good things.
Yeah, I try to be balanced. I'll be the first to say I really like Gettleman. I like his attitude. I like his mindset. I try to really like the guy. Now, there's some things I can't defend him about. There's the Leonard Williams thing. I can't defend him. I can't defend him, but I want to like.
No, I agree.
I want to like Gettleman. I do. I really do. And hopefully he does a good job this offseason. I think he's done some good things and he's done some bad things. Like a lot of GMs.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, this is why I feel okay about him. I know it's a small piece, but guys that are good drafting, I'm okay with, which is historically his good thing, because like you said on your channel too, I believe things are built through the draft, and not only built. It's not built in rounds 1 and 2. It's built. You look at Bill Belichick. It's built through like three through 7.
Well, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
and
we
look,
had some like Conley. We have some guys I'm really excited about. And
Darius.
I mean, this is
Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
And you look at Jerry. You look at Jerry Reese. His last. And I'm not. I don't want people to think I'm trying to bash Jerry Reese. But you look at his last 6 or 7 years here. You're not going to find a good draft pick outside of the first round for the most part. Landon Collins early second round, but he couldn't draft at all in the later rounds. That's why he doesn't have a job.
It's actually funny you brought that up, because I remember the first game, and we didn't have a lot of things coming through this, but it's actually ironic you brought that up. They were showing how the Cowboys and how they've drafted, and they pulled up a list side by side. They said the only notable guy we still got to hang our hat on is Sterling Shepard. And the Cowboys had a list of like 6 guys that they brought in, like Gallup was one of them, some of these later round guys who were studs. So no, I believe that too. But yeah, in terms of the draft, yeah, I actually think, because I remember you reported this, that the Giants really like him. I do think they're going to go tackle. I love Simmons, but I actually think I don't want to say a sleeper, because he's on people's radar, but I think the Giants are going to like Tristan Wirfs, because I feel like he's more versatile. I know we don't need guard right now specifically, but going off of what JoJo's is looking for, and I saw his combine, but I said to myself, why don't I watch a little film, just like little YouTube highlights. He's a very good feisty offensive lineman to go with his
he's a great athlete. He's a great athlete, and he's a molar.
Yeah, I think.
And like you said, we don't really need a guard now, but you could stick him at the right tackle, and in a year or two, Zeitler's going to be off the team probably. You could always shift him to the guard if you feel like he's better suited at that position. And I could definitely see them taking Wirfs. Wirfs had a great combine. There were rumors that they liked Wirfs before the combine, and he's the type of lineman that I do think that they could potentially be interested in. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they take Wirfs.
And and that's why I like to say this, because I myself was guilty of it. I would advise Giants fans. I'm sure you would agree. We can't get too upset about this year's draft. It's like Daniel Jeremiah said. Typically GMs like to find guys to protect their young quarterbacks, and people are going to get excited about Simmons, more rumors as thing goes around. I know this one's not going to be as big of like, oh my God, because we have our quarterback, but it's like we started off the conversation. We can't get too upset. It's going to be pretty hard to screw this one up. We need a lot of players, so if they get a good tackle, can't be disappointed. If they get Isaiah Simmons, you can't be disappointed. I mean, even if they get Jeff Okudah.
No, I mean, all those positions are very important to a football team. So, the most important thing, make sure the player is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Gettleman's
value. And I like that philosophy, value.
Yeah.
I do agree with him. If you draft for need, eventually, if all you're doing is filling need, you're balanced, but you don't have a bunch of good players.
You're gonna reach. Yeah. You're gonna reach when you're drafting for need. Now, obviously, you need to identify what your needs are. Your 3 or 4 biggest need, but then you want to try to pick the best player. If there's a significant difference, you want to pick that player. And we'll see what Gettleman does, man. But I gotta let you go. I got a lot of people calling in, but great call, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, you do a great job. Keep going. It's awesome. I really love watching these videos. So
I really appreciate it, man.
Great job.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the call, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber. Have a good one, man.
You too.
1 second, just want to give a couple of shout-outs. Boulder Picks, thank you for becoming a new member, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I think I got a super chat. I just want to make sure I didn't get two. I did. Just want to make sure I get all of them. David Rubin with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, Simmons but Gates at right tackle or Becton but Conley at linebacker. That's another really good what if. Simmons but Gates at right tackle. Gates displayed he was pretty good at right tackle the last 3 games of the year. It's kind of almost an identical situation because Conley displayed that he was a really good linebacker for 2 or 3 games before he got hurt, and Gates displayed he was a really good tackle for 2 or 3 games. That's a great question. Oh, wow. You know what? I would have to go with Simmons and Gates just because I don't know how Conley's going to recover from the injury. I hope he does recover, and I hope he's really good. But we only saw 2 games of him, 2 or 3 games. If I had to pick one of those 2 scenarios, I think I would go with the first one, Simmons and Gates. And let me just get the $5 super chat from Big Blue in the PA. Great subscriber of mine, man. Thanks for love, man. $5 super chat. He says, Chris, Wirfs is not a mauler. Knock on him is he doesn't finish blocks, and he's not mean enough. Sorry, I'll pass. Well, he's known as a athlete, a wrestler, and a guy that is a good run blocker. That's what I mean when I say Mueller. Hey, you know what? Some people are going to like him, some people aren't. Obviously, Becton is when you think Mueller's a huge guy. But what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Stand up, the entertainer!
What is going on, John Letourneau? Oh, God, we got another Eagles fan, but I love him. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Long time no speak. I'm not too much into the draft like you are and all that stuff, but I hope, no disrespect to you, my friend, I hope the Giants bomb on all the draft picks.
Well, you know what? The same goes for you guys. Hopefully you guys take a punter in the first round.
Yeah, I hope we get Henry Ruggs just to rub it in. But I just want to talk about a couple of things real quick. How do you think about the Astros? Do you think that people are going to beam them? Every team's going to get a chance to beam them, like throw at them, or do you think the commissioner's going to come in and stop that since it's already happened during spring training?
That's a great question. I'm actually going. I already bought tickets. I'm going to the Astros Mets game. I'm going to sit right behind the Astros dugout. I spent $60 on it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it'll be a fun atmosphere. So I don't remember what day of the week it is, but I'm going when the Astros come to Citi Field. That's a great question with the Astros. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff. I mean, what they did was despicable, and I'm sure that teams are gonna they'll probably hit a couple of players. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I think that there'll be something.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking the same thing myself. But you don't know if people keep doing it, how fast the commissioner or they're going to stop it, and then by the time during the regular season, you don't know if there's any ramifications for doing there. You know what I'm saying? Just to protect the guys from getting hit, everybody getting thrown at and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll step in if it gets excessive, for sure.
But let's talk about your other neglected New York team, your New York Rangers.
I'm going to be honest with you, John, before you talk, and I'll talk. I know nothing about hockey. I know nothing. I know nothing about hockey. I watch the playoffs. I think the Islanders are going to make the playoffs, so I will watch the Islanders in the playoffs. And I think maybe.
Oh, you're not a Ranger guy? You're not you don't root for your Rangers?
I'm not a hockey guy, so I kind of just root for the New York team, and I'm from Long Island, so I guess I pull for the Islanders a little bit, but because I'm not a diehard hockey guy, I just kind of pull for who's ever in the playoffs, and I know the Islanders are going to be in the playoffs. I don't know, are the Rangers going to even? I know they got hot for a little bit, but they were off to a really bad start.
Yeah, they just lost to us back to back. I just wanted to throw that at you if you followed the Rangers or anything. I just wanted to throw another dig at you, buddy. So Philadelphia throwing back at New York, you know how it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not a huge hockey guy, but I know the Flyers and the Rangers have a history.
Yeah. I just wanted to touch base. What do you think? I know the football. Like I said, I apologize that I'm not up to date on it. But what do you think? How do you think the Phillies and the Mets are going to turn out in spring training? And what do you expect going forward for the early baseball season?
Yeah. I always like getting a baseball call here and there just to break it up. As far as the Mets, the National League East goes this year, Listen, I'm a huge Mets fan. It's just that obviously most of my following is Giants fan. I'm just as big of a Mets fan. The National League East this year, I think, is the best division in all of baseball. I really think it could go any way. I think the Mets are really good, but they're in a really tough division. The Phillies are really good. The Phillies could be a lot better. They have a lot of talent. Obviously, the Nationals defending champs, and the Braves are the favorites. So I don't know how it's going to go. I really don't. I think the team that stays the healthiest is going to win that division because I think all four of them are playoff caliber teams. I think it's going to be a great race this year in the National League East.
Right. And is there any possibility that I can convince you to become an Eagles fan?
No. You couldn't.
But you know what, Chris?
Yeah.
Even though you're a Giants fan, I love you, brother. I wish you all the success. Fly Eagles fly. You know what? I'll be nice to you, Chris. I'll pull for the Giants to battle us for the NFC crown for the Super Bowl. How about that? Is that any consolation for you?
If we're battling with you guys for the NFC East crown, let's go. That means we got to compete.
No, I'm talking about NFC title game. I'm talking about I'll go all out for both Eagles and the Giants, my friend.
Is the Pope Catholic? I'm in the NFC title game with a chance to beat the Eagles. Sign me up right now. Sign me up right now, John. Sign me up right now.
Yeah, I know. But I love you what you do, brother. Keep it up, and Fly Eagles fly, my friend.
All right, John. Have a good one, my man. Have a good one.
You too, my man.
What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's going on, Chris? It's Big Blue in the PA.
Big, what's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? Great subscriber of mine. What's up, man?
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah. I just want to talk some X's and O's with you, buddy. Talking about the draft, I'll say one thing about this year's draft is I am my stress level, since we don't need a quarterback, has cut off at least 50% from last year. I have to say that I'm hoping to draft Simmons if he the fourth or trade back. I'm fine, which I'm more want to trade back. There's just too many holes in this game. I'm sorry about that beat. That's my truck I'm in.
No, to be honest with you, I don't even hear it.
Okay, yeah, there's just too many holes this year not to trade back. And in my opinion, there's a couple tackles that we don't have to go tackle at 4. I think that's if we drop back and go tackle, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. But I don't want to tackle at 4. I think you can get a better player value at 4 than a freaking tackle, and that none of these tackles are William Roaf. Let's be honest here. None of these tackles are of anything near that guy or anything of that nature. There's no Tyrone, the guy from the Cowboys. There's no Trent Williams.
Jonathan Ogden. Yeah,
right.
no,
There's no Jonathan Ogden.
I tend to agree with you. I mean, I like a lot of these offensive linemen, but I tend to agree with you.
I do too.
I tend to agree with you that. That's why I want to trade down, because I think we're still going to be able to get a very good lineman at 12, even if we traded down with the Raiders. So
I agree.
If the plan is to take an offensive lineman, that's why I want to trade down. Let's put it this way. Let's just say hypothetically, I come to the conclusion that I think Andrew Thomas is the best offensive lineman, which I could honestly say I don't know who I think the best offensive lineman is right now. But let's just say I think it's Andrew Thomas, and I thought Becton was the third best. I would rather get Becton at 12 and get more assets than get Andrew Thomas at 4. That's what I'll say.
Well, check this out, Chris. Would you be happy with this scenario? I know everyone's like, "Oh, we don't need him. We do need this guy," because and everyone's talking about we don't need a receiver. BS, Chris. We do need a receiver. These receivers that we have are old. They're not healthy. We have no true number 1. Yeah, Slayton looks decent, but look, dude, he's not going to be a number 1. You could just look. He's going to be a good number 2, probably, most likely. How would you feel about this? Dropping back with Miami to 6, taking Jerry Jeudy, and then picking up a tackle with their second pick. Would you be happy with that?
I'm going to be honest with you, and I know you've been on the Jerry Jeudy train for a while. You've wanted to watch.
Dude, you're going to complete your triple. If you get Jeudy, you're going to have Barkley, best running back in the league. You're going to have basically Julio Jones 2.0. That's what his projection just about is. And you're going to have Daniel Jones for years to come. That you just made your triplets, Chris.
Oh, you're not gonna get me to argue that. I mean, I completely agree that it would be a potentially dynamic offense. I'm just not of the belief of taking a wide receiver that early, because I think you could find, especially in this draft. This draft is
even dropping back.
If you could get, let's say we dropped to 12 and 19 with the Raiders. and I would still go offensive tackle or a different position than a wide receiver at 12. But would I be open to a wide receiver at 19? Yeah. If there was a guy, say my draft board.
Like Ruggs.
Yeah, Ruggs or whatever. If there was a guy that I thought was a top, say I'm Gettleman in my draft board, I have Ruggs in my top 10 players in the draft, I'd be open to taking him at 19. That's just me. Everybody's different. I don't believe in taking a wide receiver that early in a draft.
And Chris, one more question before I let you go. How scared are you of the Eagles getting Ruggs? Because I'm pretty scared. I'm going to be honest with you.
Somebody asked me that I think the last time I had a call-in show. That is the one player.
I'm scared.
That's the one player I don't want the Eagles to get because he brings back flashes of Deshaun Jackson, and Deshaun Jackson used to kill us. And I do not want that. I do not let him go anywhere but the Eagles. I do not want him on the Eagles.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm praying he doesn't go to the Eagles.
Yeah,
that's all they need is a deep threat for Wentz, and they're going to be a major headache. That's all they need for Wentz.
I'm with you on that. I do not want Henry Ruggs on the Eagles at all. At all. That's the one guy that I don't want them taking.
Yeah. No, I agree, Chris. But I'll let you go get the other calls, man. Thanks a lot for talking to me, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call, man. Thank you for being a great subscriber.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Have a good one. Oh, I cut him off by accident. And what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
So, Chris, this is RD706.
I'm sorry, who is this?
RD706.
What's going on, man? Yeah. RD706. Yeah. What's up, buddy? You're a Bills fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Man, we're 1 month in the drive.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm so nervous even talking to you right now.
Don't be nervous, man. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
Well, how about we talk about your Giants first, and I could talk about my Bills. That what we need for the draft.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll start with your Bills. You watch my channel. You know I'm very high on your team. I like the Bills. I had the Bills as my sleeper team last year out of the AFC. I really like your team. I don't know your free agents this year. But I do love your defense. I think you have one of the best defenses, and I do think Josh Allen has the possibilities of being a very good quarterback. He's got to work on the accuracy, but you know your team better than me. I love Ed Oliver. I thought he was a good pick for you guys last year. I think you need to get Allen one more big weapon. Maybe Chenault. I don't know. I don't know what the Bills are looking at, but I think wide receiver could be where you guys go in the first round.
It's looking like that. Man, to be honest, I would love to have Chenault, but we could possibly get, I don't know, Higgins or trade up. We'll get CD Lamb and all. You saw that catch he made at the Combine, right? That video.
Yeah, but there's no way CD Lamb's getting to you unless you trade up. There's no way CD Lamb's getting.
There's a possibility. We traded up to go get Josh Allen.
Oh no, you could trade up. You could trade up, but you're not getting him where you're picking.
That's granted.
Yeah, but no, I like the direction of your team. Josh Allen's got to get more accurate, but I really like the direction of your team. And what was your question about the Giants?
Well, I know I'm speculating that a lot of people, Isaiah Simmons, the old lineman, and Chase Young and all. But to be honest, when I look at the Giants, okay, y'all need some more help on the defense and all. You need cornerbacks and all. But to be honest, y'all kind of need a receiver for Danny Dimes. The anointed one, I want to steal one from Fifth Vegas. He calls him like the anointed one.
Yeah. No, we do. I don't deny that. I just don't. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I know some Giants fans, like Big Blue in the PA, wants to take Judy. I'm not even against necessarily taking a first round wide receiver. I just don't think this is the year to do it. I think we have too many other holes at more important positions. Fix those positions, in my opinion, before you start spending a first-round pick on a wide receiver. Fix the offensive line, fix the defense, then go get the wide receiver.
Facts.
Yeah, just my opinion. But and the other thing is, this draft is so deep at that position. There's
the right receiver. Oh, yeah. I know. They saying it's like the most deepest one since the Odell one.
Yeah, you get a good wide receiver in the 4th round. You get a good wide receiver in the 4th round. So I just don't. I think we have more important needs, and you could get value at that position more so than probably any other position in this year's draft.
Yeah.
You know.
But only thing that scares about me for the Bills is they go take another defensive play like they did last year at Oliver, and I was kind of mad because I wanted us to go get DK Metcalf because when I thought we were trading down, I believe so, with the Raiders, I thought we would get like DK Metcalf. Oh my God, we're gonna get DK Metcalf. But then we took Cody Ford for O-line, which
that was. You know what? I don't think he did great for you guys last year, but that was a good pick. Because you got that was great.
Yeah.
That was great value, and Cody and your offensive line the year before was horrific. So
I understand why they did it, but come on.
No, I'm gonna tell you, man. I thought the Bills. I did a video on this. I said I think your team last year had the best offseason of any team in football. The way that you used your cap space, I thought was brilliant. And your draft, I thought you had a great draft. I'm a big fan of the way the Bills are building their football team. Now, like I said, I don't follow your team well enough to know the players that you're losing this year to free agency. But I know Alexander retired.
Yeah, he did. There's like 2 of them. I do believe it's Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips, but both of them wants to stay in.
Yeah.
And also. Because, I don't want them to go to a division rival. God forbid the Patriots.
Yeah.
And all. Yeah, I know. But yeah. I don't know what we're going to do. A lot of people saying, I don't know if you heard about this, but there's speculations of Stephon Diggs might get traded.
I don't. And then I read conflicting reports that Stephon Diggs is probably going to stay. So I'll believe it when I see it. He's under a very cost-effective contract. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. He'd be a great pickup for somebody. He's a great wide receiver. But we'll see. I got a lot of people calling in, though, man. I just want to say thank you for all your support, man. I always see you commenting on Twitter and everything. So thank you for all your support, and thank you for being a great subscriber.
Oh, no problem. Go Giants and fuck the Jets, I guess. I don't know.
All right, man.
No. Before you go, there's like a lot of Jets fans. I don't know if you see Jets. There's a lot of people in your comment section like saying how bad Sam Darnold is and saying like, oh, well, he got played by a rookie and Daniel Jones, but even though he lost, but. And I go on Twitter and they keep like saying how bad Daniel Jones is, like saying like, oh, Sam Darnold's better than Allen and Daniel Jones. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? like Daniel Jones and Josh Allen got drafted by the Bills and Giants. Your quarterback got drafted by the Jets.
Darnold so far has been a disappointment with the Jets. Part of that I think has to do with some things he can't control. I don't think they've built that team properly around him. But Darnold has definitely been a disappointment so far with the Jets, no doubt about it.
I know because and I don't want to cut you off and all.
Yeah.
But you know how last year, people had them like winning the division and challenging them to go for the Patriots and all. Because they had Le'Veon Bell, like, well, we have this and all, we have Sam Darnold and all, we're gonna go to the playoffs, but they stuck up the joint just like the Browns did, and
no, they were definitely one of the more disappointing teams. But I gotta let you go, man. I got a lot of people calling in. But thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
They were definitely one of the more
Hey.
What's going on? Who's this?
You know who this? This is the Sports Critic. What's up, bro?
Oh, Amir, how you been, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
What's going on, man? Big Giants fan. He's got a channel over there. Go check him out. What's up, man?
Yeah, I've just been trying to call in. Luckily got on. So yeah, who do you think the Giants should take in the draft?
Ask me that question after free agency. That's what I keep saying. But I'm still a firm believer in trading down and getting value at number 4. You know, I that's just my opinion. I'm not, but again, like I've said this entire process, I'm not going to be upset if we take I'm not going to be upset if we take Simmons. I'm not going to be upset if we take Okuda. I'm not going to be upset if we trade down, and I'm not going to be upset if we take a tackle because we have so many needs. I just want them to pick a good player at one of our needs. That's what I want.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
But what about you? Who do you want?
Yeah, I would want a tackle, like any of the top tackles, because I think we need to protect Daniel Jones. Like, our offensive line is not good, you know?
I'm kind of leaning that way myself. But, like I said, I will not be upset if they go with defense either. They need both, but I agree with you. You got to protect your quarterback.
Yeah, I agree, though, that they do. Isaiah Simmons would be great for us.
Oh,
like, the way his combine and everything, the way he's been, you know, in the combine, he had a great speed and all that.
Yeah, you know, he's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. And obviously somebody in the chat just wrote hope for Young. Yeah, and I don't know who this guy is, but I've never seen him in my chat before. I think he's probably trolling. So I am going
but
to...
did you...
There you go. But go ahead.
Did you hear about the fact that, like, the Redskins may take Tua?
Did I hear that the Redskins may take Tua? Yes, but I don't believe in it. I don't, you know, so a bunch of people have asked me that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I think it's nonsense.
Yeah, I think they definitely got to take Chase Young. Like, how could you pass on him, especially with Ron Rivera as the head coach?
Yeah, I still think they're going Chase Young. We'll see. I think it's Chase Young or trade down. I don't think if they're staying at 2, they're taking Chase Young.
Yeah. What did you think about the report about Jake Conklin going to the Jets, but then like people are saying that's not true anymore?
Yeah, it was then rebutted, and who knows?
Yeah.
Now, if you read the second tweet, I forgot who it was. Who was it? One of whoever it was. Schefter was it. He first made it sound like he's not going to the Jets, but then he kind of said that maybe, you know, I when I read it, I kind of read it like he could go to the Jets, but he could go to anybody. It's going to be a bidding war, and that's the way it should be. Yeah. There is no way in hell that Jack Conklin right now should have his mind made up. He's by far the best tackle on the open market, and he's going to get offered a king's ransom. And if you're Jack Conklin, you should want to go to the team that, one, gives you the best chance to win, but even more importantly, whoever is willing to give you the biggest contract. So, I when I read it, I was like, I don't know, but I reported on it because everybody was telling me about it. Everybody was saying make a video on it, and I thought there was some legitimacy to it, but then obviously it got rebutted. At the end of the day, I think that Conklin's going to end up with whoever offers him the most money.
Yeah, and I think the Jets do have a lot to spend, and they have holes on the offensive line side also, but also. Isn't it like free agency is not even open yet? So wouldn't it be like tampering or something like that?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's just leakage. It's kind of like rumors. Like we heard rumors that the Giants would be interested in, several. Anybody I've done a video on. So it's kind of just a rumor. It's not like Conklin said it. He's saying that he heard. Who knows? So technically it'd be tampering, but. It happens every year, so I'm not. Nothing's gonna come from it.
Right.
But anything else, my man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to the draft. Looking forward to free agency opening up. Are you doing a stream for free agency when it opens up, or?
I'm probably gonna do the same thing I did last year, where I make individual videos throughout the day. I'm going to have a lot, so be prepared if you're new to my channel. There's going to be like 20 videos. It's going to be any high profile guy I'm going to do a video on, and then any giant guy, obviously it'll be a more extensive video. And then at the end of the day, I'll probably do a live stream, like a Q&A.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. The same thing I did last year.
Yeah, I just got one last question. So, who would you want the Giants to get, like the top person you would want them to get in free agency, like the number one need you think that we would have?
Conklin. Jack Conklin.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing yesterday in my stream. I said we need Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin. Yeah, for sure.
We need offensive line help. If we can get Conklin and get Isaiah Simmons, I think we did pretty well.
Yeah, and Littleton would probably be 2 for me if we're talking high-profile guys. Conklin 1, Littleton 2. That's probably my order.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna let you go, man. I got a lot of people calling in. I just want to say thank you for calling in, man,
so much.
and keep up the great work on your channel, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Take care, bro.
All right, Amir. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Who's this?
It's Slick Smith.
Hey, what's up, man? Slick Smith, man. Great subscriber, man. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? It's crazy. I called and got in almost immediately.
Yeah, well, as the show winds down, usually, if you ever want a strategy with these call-in shows, where you don't have to wait long, wait till like the last hour or last half hour, and you get through pretty easily.
Well, I guess I lucked out on that.
Yeah.
I just want to switch it up a little bit. Ask you, what are your opinions on the XFL so far? About halfway through the season.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I saw the first 2 weeks. I've been working like crazy on the weekend, so I see it here and there when I got the TV on. But overall, some of the things that the kickoff rule I love. I think it was a brilliant rule. I said that in my video. I wouldn't be shocked if the NFL steals that, because it would reduce concussions, and at the same time, it opens up the possibility of big plays. So I like that rule. I don't know if the NFL will do that, but I actually like that rule. I also like, not that the NFL would ever do this, but I do like the access that you get in the huddle where you get to hear the plays. I do like certain things about the XFL. I do think it's entertaining. Now, it's not, for me, I'm a big baseball fan. So I'm looking forward to the Mets.
You probably wouldn't choose.
Yeah, but
you probably wouldn't choose XFL over there.
Yeah, but for somebody that's, predominantly a football fan and nothing else, I could see it having value as something that lasts for a while. I think it'll definitely last more than a year for sure. Yeah, I mean, for somebody who's just strictly a football fan, I could see somebody getting into the league.
So you like the whole, because the play calling thing to me seems weird. Like, hey, we're gonna broadcast playbooks to the other team.
Oh no, yeah, no, that'll never fly on the in the NFL. And I don't even necessarily think it's great for whatever. But I do think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that you get that access. But they're trying to do something new and innovative. I get it. Yeah, but obviously the worry there is that they steal the play. But I do like it. I think I do think certain things are pretty cool with it.
I have one last question before I go. How many touchdowns do you think DJ's got to throw for Jeff Abbey to finally stay the QB?
I saw Jeffrey Abbey was in here earlier. I don't know if he still is. I think DJ, to prove the haters or the doubters, I shouldn't even say haters, the doubters wrong. I think the most important thing is not even the touchdowns. It's the fumbling. He's got to improve that. And I think DJ's gonna have a good year. I think DJ's gonna have 27, 28 touchdowns. And I think he'll cut down on the fumbles. I hope. But I think that's what the biggest knock on Jones is right now. His pre-snap reads, which is normal for a rookie quarterback, and his fumbling problems. He's got to have better ball security.
Word. Well, thanks for having me on, and I'm probably when I go to Vegas for the draft, I'm bringing that Ben's the knee sign, so hopefully I can get on TV for you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you enjoy the draft, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too, buddy. Have a good one. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Entertainer, what's up, bro?
What's up, Tom McCarthy? There's your thumbs up. What's up, man? Who's this?
This is Carlos, man.
What's up, Carlos, man? Thanks for calling in.
Hey, man, I had a couple questions for you. This might seem a little different.
I like different.
From what most people have been asking, but I wanted to get your opinion on if we trade back with, let's say, the Raiders.
Okay.
How about we take the best tackle available, the second best tackle available in the first, and then in the second we take the best center available?
If that was the plan going into the draft, they're not going to do that first off because I think Soldiers is going to still be on the roster. But if that was the plan going into the draft, you would need to spend all your free agency money on the defense.
What's the problem with that?
There's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. Listen, man. If let's just say hypothetically the Giants go, We're going to spend $15 million a year on Corey Littleton. We're going to add a pass rusher, and we're going to add a safety. And we want to trade down to 6. We want to take an offensive tackle, and we want to take a center in the second round with one of our 2 second-round picks because they'd be getting the Chargers 37th. As long as you address free agency with young players on the defensive side of the football that's going to improve the defense, I'm okay with that. As long as you address defense next year early on in the draft. But I wouldn't be upset with that. Now, in terms of 2 tackles, that I do not see. I don't see that happening.
Do you think it would be a bad idea, though? Because if you look at it in the way that you used a top pick in Daniel Jones, you used a top pick in Saquon Barkley, you want to get the most out of them for the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
You got to protect them with top-notch talent with these tackles. You already got 2 guards. You get this center. You keep Daniel Jones off his ass for the next 5 years. Hopefully to help him with the fumbling issues. And then you can just add, like you said, the defense will just cost you money moving forward, and then you plug, next year in the draft.
I mean, listen, I would rather, in that situation, if you're asking me what I would want, not knowing what they do in free agency, I definitely want to take a tackle at 12 in that situation because I think if you wait till 19, one of the top 4 is probably gone. So I definitely want to take a tackle at 12. And then at 19, I'm probably going defense and then probably going center potentially at 36. That's probably what I would do. But I'm completely with you, man. I want to improve that offensive line. I've expressed that. I am a big fan of improving the offensive line. I just don't know if it's worth it at number 4 if you have the ability to trade down. But yeah, I mean, they got to fix the O-line. They got a young quarterback, young running back. You got to give them the best chance to succeed. And as I've expressed several times, if you can improve the offense, it's going to help the defense.
100%. Like Dallas has been doing.
Yeah. So, but they definitely need to fix. They definitely need to fix both. They definitely need talent on both sides.
I agree.
Yeah.
My last question was, do you think that it's possible Okuda's been overrated because he's had Bosa last year and Young this year?
People have said that, and I think that's a fair thing to bring up because obviously people say, well, he's got the pass rush, and it's not as hard to cover guys when you got, the 2 best edge rushers in the sport getting after the quarterback. Do I think he's been overrated? I do. I mean, I don't know. I think he's gonna be a very good corner. I think he has every attribute you could want. He's tall. He's not blazing fast, but he's fast enough. He's physical. I do think he's gonna be a very good corner. I don't know if he's an elite corner. I can't definitively say that, but I do think he's gonna be a very, very good player. That is worthy of at least the top 8 or 9 pick.
Can he play off-ball zone?
Yeah, that's one thing I like about him. He's done both. He's not like Baker, where Baker was just a press man corner. He has experience doing both.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, man. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, especially with the tackles in the center going, early those first 3 picks with that.
Yeah, man. And, I like the out of the box. I appreciate that, and I love the out of the box thinking. That was a good question.
Yeah, man. All right, have a good one, bro.
You too. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's going on, Tina? How you doing?
Brandon, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up, Tina? I just wanted to talk about the QB draft class and the QB free agency market with you, because I know there's been a lot of buzz, with Tua and Burrow and Love and Herbert and all them. And I just want to I want to ask you this about Tua. Do you think the Redskins are actually considering taking Tua?
I've been asked that all night. As far I don't. I think the Redskins are using it as a bargaining chip to potentially trade down if they got offered a king's ransom. I could be wrong, but I'm not buying into it.
Okay, and see, here's what I've thought about it, because it's Ron Rivera. He it's his new system. It's what he wants to do. But I just don't see how you can pass up Chase Young.
No, I think the only way they could pass up Chase Young is if they get offered a deal they can't pass up. If the Dolphins say we're going to give you all 3 of our first round picks, they're probably going to take that deal. Because you can still get a very talented player at 5, and then you got the 18th and the 26th or whatever it is. So that is the one scenario where I could see if they get offered a deal they can't turn down, that's how. But other than that, I'm with you. I think they're going to go Chase Young.
Yeah, and I also think that with the whole Justin Herbert thing, with like the Chargers, I could see Herbert going to the Chargers, but I don't think anybody should trade up and risk it on Herbert because I think Jalen Hurts could fall lower first round or maybe even second. But I think that if the Dolphins were to trade up, I think it would be with Cincy because I think the Dolphins would want Joe Burrow. Personally.
Yeah, but if Cincy wants Joe Burrow, why are they going to trade out? Why wouldn't they just take him?
Well, but you said like the King's ransom. Like if they get offered.
See with the quarterback, I think it's different. If you believe Burrow is the guy, which if you're taking him at number 1 overall, you better believe that you're not trading out of that pick.
Yeah,
you're taking that guy. And if the Bengals believe Burrow's the guy, which I think they do, they're not trading out of that pick. They're taking Joe Burrow.
Okay. And then, are you a fan of Herbert or do you like Jordan Love more? Or
I'll tell you what, I am a big fan of Jordan Love. I am a big. I'm not. It's got to be the right situation. But I think if Jordan Love gets put on the right team, he's got huge upside. Now he's definitely risky. He's absolutely risky. I know he had a down year this year, but the offensive line was awful. But he's got all the tools. I like both those guys. I think Herbert's good too. Herbert kind of reminds me of Daniel Jones a bit. He's tall. He's mobile. Sometimes he forces throws. I like both those guys. Herbert's very smart. But I do think Jordan Love has a very high ceiling. I don't think he's going to go before Herbert, but if he gets put on the right team, I could see Love being a very good quarterback.
Okay, and then what else I want to ask you about? I also wanted to ask you about Dak. With the whole thing with Dak, do you think he gets franchise tagged, or do you think they actually work it out? Because in my mind, I think he's getting franchise tagged, but I don't know. It's really tough to say because just with that CBA proposal and stuff, and yeah.
Well, you said with Dak?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And by the way, I want to say hello to Dyer Giants fan. What's going on, my man? Good to see you in here, man. And you said the jersey fits good. He's the guy who, of course, gave me the jersey. And yeah, man, it fits good, man. It feels good. But as far as Dak goes, it's interesting. I said in the middle of last year, first off, the quarterback market is insane. The quarterback market is absurd. The fact that Teddy Bridgewater wants $30 million.
That's unreal.
It's crazy, but he'll probably get it. Yeah. If you find a desperate enough team, they're gonna give it to him. And I've been on record as saying for a while that I would try to franchise Dak too because I don't think he's a guy that's worthy of spending that much money on. But I think outside the box. I personally think the quarterback market is gotten to a point where it is way too high, and the only way I'm going to pay a quarterback that type of money and give them that second contract, they've got to be top 5. They've got to be Russell Wilson. They got to be Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
They got to be Pat Mahomes. They got to be Aaron Rodgers.
Pat Mahomes is going to reset that market.
Yeah, but
Mahomes will, yeah.
But when you pay a guy like Dak Prescott or even Matt Stafford or Matt Ryan that kind of money, you see the effect it has on the team. Because those quarterbacks are not...
And Jared
Goff. And those quarterbacks are not good enough to carry a football team when you give them, 15% of the cap space? It's just not... It's not feasible. And I wouldn't give Dak that money. I might franchise him for 1 year and try to draft a quarterback. I don't believe in paying good quarterbacks top-tier money.
Yeah, and I was also going to say maybe... I don't know. I don't think Dak will be like the Kirk Cousins situation in Washington. I don't think it'll get up to that point, but I think Dak, deserves money, but not what he's asking for. He doesn't deserve that 34 million, whatever.
He doesn't deserve it, but he's going to get it. He's going to get it.
Yeah, I think Jerry will buy in sooner or later.
Yeah,
just like he did with Zeke, and I think McCarthy will push him too because McCarthy really wants him. But I think, like you were saying, like how it kills the team. Like you look at the Rams, perfect example. You give Gurley all that money. Now he's not even his former self, and you give Goff all that money, and you trade your draft picks away. You basically have you're basically in a 1 to 2 year window to try and win, which they had when they went to the Super Bowl, but that didn't work out. So and Dante Fowler's a free agent. And you gave Aaron Donald all that money too. So
yeah, at the end of the day, if you're giving a quarterback that type of money, he better be able to carry the team. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks who can. That's my take on it.
I got one more thing, and I think the Colts will be aggressive in the quarterback market. I think you could see Teddy Bridgewater floating up with the Colts, possibly Phillip Rivers. I think the Colts will move on from Brissett.
They 100% are going to move on from Brissett. And I think
of how strong the quarterback market is. It's just you got to look at it.
I think Rivers is going to end up with the Colts. I think it's a perfect fit. If I'm Rivers, that's the team I want to go to. They have the best offensive line in the sport. Rivers doesn't have the best of arm strength. He gets to play in a dome. And that's a team he can compete with. So I think that if I'm Rivers, I want to go to the Colts. And if I'm the Colts, I probably want Rivers because I'm only committing a year or two. So, and I kind of have a team that was ready to go on a run before Andrew Luck retired. So I think it's a really good fit. I think Rivers is going to be a Colt.
Yeah, thank you, Tane, for taking my call, though. Appreciate it for sure. I'll be in the chat, but thank you for taking my call, man. Appreciate it.
You got it, Brandon. Thanks for the call, man. What's going on, nations? What's going on, my man? Thank you to everybody for being here. We're going to wrap. I'll probably take 1 or 2 more calls, then we're going to wrap it up. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hey, who's this?
Arthur.
What's up, Arthur? Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Yeah, so I got a few questions. First of all, relating to DeAndre Baker, do you think that he could still be a top cornerback, or just an average player like someone like Xavier Rhodes in his prime?
I think. Well, what do you mean by top cornerback? Are you talking like Darrelle Revis or Richard Sherman, or I don't know if he's going to be.
I mean, like top 15, top 10.
I think he
He was definitely the best cornerback. So
yes. I do think he could still be a top 10 or 15 corner. I'm not predicting it necessarily, but I think he definitely could be, yes.
Yeah, because definitely towards the end of the year, I thought he looked much better than, towards the start, he was getting burned by everyone.
Yes. No, I definitely think he has the capabilities. Everybody always forgets this. The cornerback position is the second hardest position to translate to in the NFL. He had a very bad supporting cast. That also has to be taken into account. And the coaching staff wasn't putting him in the best situation to succeed. He had never played zone before. 40% of the time or so, they had him in zone. So, DeAndre Baker, I do think could be a very good corner. I don't know if he could be great, but I think he could be a very good corner.
And then also about Julian Love do you think he's going to be a starting free safety this year? If we release the Faye or he retires or something?
I'm going to say no, actually. But I do think he could start at the slot. I think they're going to end up with McCourty, and I could see them moving Love to the slot corner. I think Love's going to play. Love's going to play. But if you ask me now, I think they're going to end up with McCourty. But Peppers you can move around too. Peppers is definitely a versatile type player, but Love is definitely going to play. He's going to play.
Yeah. And then one more question. Let's say we sign Conklin. And then for center, instead of Halapio, we signed Ted Karras, who's familiar with Joe Judge.
Yes.
And then in the draft, would you rather have us take Simmons, Okuda, or have us trade down with the Raiders and take someone like Patrick Queen, Kenneth Murray, or someone else?
Okay. So one more time. You said would I rather stay at 4 and take Simmons, or trade down, or Okuda, or trade down.
And take someone like Patrick Queen, Kenneth Murray, or someone else you're thinking of?
If I'm going to take Patrick Queen, I want to take him in the second round. I don't want to take him in the first. I want to trade down. Ideally, I want to trade down, but it has to be the right price. I want to trade down.
If we sign both a center and a right tackle, who would you want us to take with that 12th and other pick?
Okay.
I have zero clue.
So you're saying if we signed a tackle and a center in free agency, what would I want to do at 12 if we traded down?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's interesting because that opens up a lot of avenues. You could theoretically, because now you've kind of addressed the offensive line, You could take Jerry Jeudy if he fell to 12. I'm not necessarily saying that's what I would want. You could, or Lamb. You could take a pass rusher, whoever it may be, whoever you would think would be the best available guy at that spot. You could go a variety of ways there at 12. There's a lot of ways you could go there. I'm not off the top of my head, I can't give you one specific name in that instance, but it's interesting. I that would be the one scenario where you could potentially take Jerry Jeudy or Lamb if they fell to 12, if they had already addressed both positions on the offensive line, and there wasn't a defensive player there that you loved.
Yeah, because like Slayton, I think he can be our number one next year. Sterling Shepard's always a reliable guy, but just I don't know what to think about Tate. That was such a horrible deal.
Yeah, well, they could cut Tate after this year, and I think it's only a $4.5 or $5 million dead cap hit. He played good for us last year, but the deal didn't make much sense because he's old. He's up there in age.
Yeah.
He fit the Shermer offense. He doesn't fit this offense very well, though. That's the problem. But, Tate, at most, will play 2 more years with the Giants. He definitely won't see the 4th year of that contract, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it, man. Thanks for the call. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello? Hello? All right. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Who's this?
Yo.
Who's this?
Oh, it's my bad. You're kind of late on the call.
Yeah. Who's this?
It's Jake.
What's up, Jake, man? What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Hey, so obviously, I don't really want to get in the draft because every day I feel like we hear, who's the favorite and is it a tackle or is it Simmons?
Right.
Today I'm hearing it's what's the corner? I forgot his name.
Jeff Okudah.
Yeah. Forget all that. Every day it's someone new. Let's talk about Joe Judge.
Let's do it.
I love this guy for obvious reasons. We got the diamond in the rough. You know what I'm talking about.
Joe Judge?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very optimistic.
Obviously,
I'm a big fan of Joe Judge, right? So far, anyway.
So far from interviews and stuff, yeah. Well, we can't. Obviously, he's unproven, and we can't get into hype like we have been the past couple of years going into the season. But I think I'm a pretty good year. I don't know.
Listen,
I just want to get your thoughts on Judge.
I'm a big Judge guy. I like Judge. I think I think it was a ballsy hire. I think it was very un-Giant-like. Giants usually go conservative. I think they showed a lot of balls here, but I think they did it for a reason. I think that I think Bill Belichick definitely gave them a good word on him. And I like what his plan is. He's coming in here to be a CEO. I really like the coaching staff that he's assembled. And I like everything that I hear from the guy. I like his mindset when it comes to football. So, I can't fully judge the guy yet. We haven't seen the team play. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to give the guy time. I'm not going to jump on the guy after his first year if the team's 4-12. I'm going to recognize this is a process and it's going to take time. Not that I'm expecting the team to go 4-12, but I'm saying I'm going to give the guy a couple of years. I'm not going to jump down the guy's throat his first year. But I like a lot of the things that he said, and I like a lot of things that I think he's going to do. Obviously, we get to really judge this guy for the first time after the draft and after free agency because he's going to work collaboratively with Gettleman, and we'll see what we think about it. But I do like Joe Judge so far.
Yeah, we can't judge him. No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he'll definitely put players in the right situations, unlike Shermer or McAdoo could do. But we'll see. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, you got it, man. Thanks for the call, man. Let me see what Afghanistan. Yeah, sorry guys, it's hard for me to read the chat. He said Afghanistan says there's a guy that left a great comment on one of your vids named Puma, and he spoke the truth about the O-line. I meant to reply, but deleted accidentally. Oh, Puma's great. Puma, I love Puma. He always drops good comments. Diehard Giants fan. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Who's this?
This is Frank. How are you?
What's going on, Frank? Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. First of all, let me just say I love the show.
I appreciate
that. I think that all no, definitely. And all the videos you're doing in the off season's really kind of helping out, keeping us, really informed. It really helps out a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys watching. And, I know that there's a lot of dire Giants fans like myself that, you don't want to wait until August to start talking football. And, that's what I try to do. But I thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. And what do you think about Simmons? I have to say, I think he's probably the best pick for us because of what he could do. He's got so many different things to bring to the table. I mean, I know we need line. I know we need line really bad, but I mean, it's just as bad as we need people on defense, especially now with Ogletree gone, and maybe he could step in and become a leader in that defense. What do you think about that?
I think Simmons, like I said, I'm kind of torn right now because I think both areas are so important and both areas need to be fixed so bad. We need a linebacker. We need a corner. We need an offensive line. But I'm going to tell you what, I am not going to shed one tear if we take Isaiah Simmons on draft night. I think he fits exactly what Joe Judge is looking for. The first thing I thought of when I was watching Joe Judge's press conference was Isaiah Simmons because all I kept hearing him say was, versatility. Well, that's what Isaiah Simmons is. So I think he fits what Joe Judge wants to do. And I think if they're going defense, he fills arguably their biggest need on the defensive side of the football. And he fits what the Giants are looking to do. So if they go with Isaiah Simmons, I think it makes a lot of sense.
What do you think about possibly in the later rounds trying to maybe pick up a bulky type tight end who can do some serious blocking? Because, Ingram, with the injury and then, not really being able to block, what do you think about that maybe?
I think that's a great point. And it's not being talked about enough. Now I don't want to spend a too early of a pick on a tight end, but yeah, in the later rounds, 5th, 6th, 7th round, I think it could make sense because I've been saying for a while now, I don't think Evan Ingram's going to be back with the Giants. Maybe one more year after this, but I don't think he's going to be here long term. I think he's too injury prone, and when push comes to shove, first off, he's not a Gettleman guy. He was a Reese guy. And secondly, we have other players on this roster that they're going to need to spend that cap space on that they've drafted. And I just don't see them allocating $15 million a year on a tight end. I honestly don't see it. So, I would be open to drafting a tight end later in the draft, whether it's the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. And a blocking tight end at that, because Red Ellison probably won't be on the team. They could use another guy who could block.
Well, I think with a better blocking tight end and Barkley being healthy, and the line we have, maybe with one extra piece, I think we might need just one more little piece on that line, and we could be decent at least. Maybe a hair above decent on the line. We were scoring points. Honestly, I don't think scoring points was that bad of a problem. I think really, keeping them off the field was one of the bigger problems more than us actually scoring, and I wasn't a big fan of this, offensive coordinator decision, but the guy has had some high scoring offenses and he builds through the line, through the draft. The draft linemen, I don't know, maybe it'll work out. But defense right now, I think is our biggest problem.
You know what? I can't debate that. I could argue with you that offensive line may be the more important problem to fix because of the young quarterback and the running back, but I cannot debate with you that defense is our biggest problem because right now we've got a lot of young, underdeveloped players, and we're arguably the worst defense in football. Every time there was a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 15, we couldn't get off the field. We couldn't guard the slot wide receiver all year. I agree with you that the defense is less there than the offense is. I'll definitely agree with that as a whole.
I think just based on the overall thing, I think it's got to be Simmons right now. I really think. But you know what? If we don't get him, then what? Then it's Chase Young, I guess. If we're not getting him, or
it depends on. Well, they go a lot of ways. You would get them, and you never know. But I really don't think Chase Young will be there. I think you're looking at either Simmons. If you're going defense, I honestly think you're looking at Simmons or Okudah. If you're staying at 4, and if you're going offense, I think you're looking at a tackle. I think those are the options.
Okay. I'd be happy with him. Or if for some reason we're able to trade down, maybe, and then they could pick up that. They could still, at like 7, they could probably still pick up that one monster lineman. What's his name? I forget his name's like 6'8".
Yeah, Mekhi Becton.
Yeah. So I mean, either way, I'd be happy with either one of those. If we got Simmons or that monster that could really he's like half of an offensive line on his own.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's big. I'm with you, man. If we're going O-line, I would prefer to trade down. And if we're staying at 4, I'd probably prefer to go defense. But I'm of the mindset if I want to trade down. But it's got to be the right deal. I don't want to trade down just to trade down. I want to get the right deal. And like I said, we got a lot of holes to fill, and hopefully we fill most of them this offseason.
Man, I'm right there with you, man. I'm really hoping we can start building something good here. And I mean, honestly, I know that winning Super Bowls is obviously always the goal. Honestly, I'm more concerned about just being a team that competes year in and year out. Why can't we be a team look at the Ravens, the Seahawks, the Green Bay. Maybe they're not the best teams, but they're always in the conversation. They always have a chance. There's always some type of excitement.
And you know why? In my opinion, at least, you know why they're always consistent. They do a number of things well. 1, they draft well. All right, that's the most important thing. 2, they build their team through the draft. They don't splurge on free agency. And 3, they have a good head coach. And hopefully that's what Joe Judge is. But I think that's how you're. That's how you're consistent in the NFL.
I like Judge's mentality. I like his mentality. I like the way he talks. I like the ideas. I'm all on board with everything he has to say. And maybe it'll be a good thing to have somebody who can act in more of a, an actual general manager type role. If you think about what a GM does in other businesses and other industries. They look at the whole picture. They don't have time to sit around and micromanage. I don't want a manager that's calling plays. Honestly, I don't want that. I don't want that kind of coach. I want a guy who is what he's saying he's going to be. Someone who's more involved in player development and
he's
more
got
of a managerial type role.
Yeah, he sounds like he's going to be the type of guy who, and that's what I love about his background. He's a special teams coach, so he has experience on both sides of the ball. He sounds like he's going to be the type of guy that has a say in every aspect of the team, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's special teams. But he's going to let the guys that he hired to do the jobs do what they got to do. He's just going to oversee it. And I think that's what you want. I think that's what you want in a head coach.
He's really tight-lipped, bro. He hasn't said one new thing since that press conference. They've had him on all kinds of interviews. They're trying to get every little piece of information out of him. They're trying to find out anything they can find out. I think he was on with who was it? Sims' son and them on their podcast. He won't say anything about Danny Dimes. He won't give anything up.
Yeah, I mean that's out of the Belichick playbook. That's what, and Flores is the same way with the Dolphins. So I'm happy with that. You don't want listen. Rex Ryan had some results with the Jets his first couple of years. You don't want a coach like that. You don't want a coach that's loud and outspoken with the media. You want a guy that keeps things in house. That's what I want at least. And that's what it seems like Joe Judge is.
Well, I agree, and honestly, that was the main reason. Well, other than the photos of him in the hotel room with the cocaine, that was one of the main reasons I didn't want Beckham coming back, because I mean, as good as he was, and he's definitely a generational talent. I didn't like when he went on the air and with what was it, Lil Wayne or whatever.
Yeah. When he attacked,
that ruined it for me.
You don't do that. And it has nothing to do with. I love Eli Manning. He's my favorite player ever, but it has nothing to do with Eli Manning. For me, it has any teammate. You don't go to the media and call out your teammates. You keep that in house. Especially for a player, and especially a player that's Odell Beckham. He's supposed to be one of the leaders. So no, I'm with you, man. That's why I was not. That's why I think the Giants got rid of him at the end of the day. Things like that. But
he forgot that it was a New York team, and we're the kind of people that want to keep our stuff quiet. That's how we want to operate. We don't talk. We keep up. We take care of our own dirty laundry, and that he forgot the people that the team represents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you, man. I'm going to let you go because I got a couple of people calling in, and I'm going to wrap the show up soon. But I just want to say thank you for the call. Great conversation, and thank you for being a great subscriber.
Thanks again. Take care, bro.
You got it, buddy. Let's see what we got here. People have family with it. The coronavirus is bringing in mandatory vaccines. Wow, Tina, these shows are awesome, man. I appreciate that, HCH. Yeah, I try to do I'm gonna, as the draft gets closer, I'm gonna do and the free agency gets. As the draft and free agency gets closer, I'm gonna do these like once a week. And Clocks, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. He says 1 to 10 rates him as a linebacker, to cornerback as cover corner. Rates him as a linebacker to cornerback as cover corner.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get what Clocks is asking me. Clocks, if you don't have to super chat again, just explain to me exactly what you're asking, and I'll try to answer it. But thanks for the love, man. What's going on? Who is this?
This is Big Pan Sports Talk, man. I love watching you and the Bag Dog go at it, man. Love watching y'all live when the games come on.
I appreciate that, man.
A lot of super chats. Love both you guys, but it's a scenario for the off season. I know if we release Rhett Ellison and Bethea, they're gone. I think we can have a bonus of like 81 million, right? Somewhere like 78 to 81 million, correct?
Yeah, well, right now we've got 73. If we release Ellison or Ellison retires, we'll have 78, and then Bethea would be 2.75. Yeah, so we'd be at about 82. 81, 82.
All right, all-season scenario. Do not re-sign Williams. He's not worth 15 to 16 million. We're just going to have to bite the bullet on that third and fifth round pick this year. No sweat. I like what Gellerman has done so far as our draft picks. You don't bring him back when we got Tomlinson and that freak of a defensive tackle we just drafted.
Dexter Lawrence, yeah.
Get his name. Dexter Lawrence. But say Conklin's got to be the first guy. I'll throw 17 million. That'll bring him in. Let's say we get Conklin, Middleton. I know it might not be favorable, but let's get Clowney. Have those three guys and draft Simmons. What do you think how our defense will look with Clowney, Simmons, and Middleton at the linebackers? We have Clowney at the end and put Conley in the middle and let those two guys roam free, Middleton and Simmons. I think that defense would be monster with those guys.
I mean, if you, and I'll get to that question in a second, Clocks. If you, all right, so you added Clowney, Littleton, and Conklin. Let's see how much money that would cost. Conklin's probably going to cost you about 18. Littleton's probably going to cost you about 17. And Clowney probably cost you about 21, 22. Yeah, that's going to eat up most of your cap space. But if you did that, and you got Simmons here, obviously your offensive line is upgraded with Conklin, and your defense, you got a great all-around player. I wouldn't say that Clowney is a great pass rusher, but he's a very good, very underrated player in the sense that he's good at everything. You'd have Clowney, you'd have one of the best coverage linebackers in the sport with Littleton, and another really good coverage linebacker with. I mean, you'd have a much improved defense. There's no doubt about it. Now the question is, can Clowney stay healthy? Long term. But for next year, I mean, the defense is night and day. You have at least an average defense next year if you had those three players, and
at the very least,
and hopefully at least an average offensive line if you had Conklin. And I would imagine you'd probably draft a center in the second round.
Yeah, the center in the second round. I believe the guy. I don't know, he's from Arizona, because I know the guy from LSU will be gone by then because he's the best center in the draft.
Cushenberry. No, wait. Yeah, Cushenberry, right?
I think it's Cushenberry. Yeah, he'll be gone, but that second center will still be there because the tackles are going to run wild in the first round. I see about 5 tackles going in the first round.
At least.
That Austin Jackson guy might sneak in at the very end.
Yeah.
From USC, he might sneak in at the very end, but we drafted center in the second round. We could always get a receiver in the last of the third round. I like the Claypool guy from Notre Dame.
He had a hell of a combine.
A lot of people are basing our DBs off what happened last year with Betcher. It's going to be a lot better this year because we actually got guys who's actually going to teach those guys and put them in scenarios that they'll be best at. I think Baker and Bill, they'll be all right. They're not going to be world beaters, but they'll be all right. our defense could hold people to 22 to 25 points a game, we got a heck of a chance, though. I say 7-9, 8-8, because our offense is decent.
If you added, I'll tell you this: if you added those players at free agency, I would want 9 or 10. I mean, if you're adding that caliber of talent, you're trying to win. I would go into the season with 9. I don't think they're going to do that. But if they added that,
I don't think they will. But if they did, it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you're trying to win this. You're trying to at least compete this year. If you had that caliber of players at free agency, I would expect 9 or 10 wins with that team. But like I said, I don't think they're going to do that. I'm probably going to go into the year with moderate expectations of 6 or 7 wins, and if they surprise me, great. And we'll see. You know, all I ask from this team is to be competitive and show improvement. And I know it's a 2 or 3 year process, and let's just hope we start that process this year.
Yeah, if they went all out like that, you're right. I expect almost to make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna go like the Kyle Van Noy route, the safety.
McCourty.
Go that route.
Yeah, McCourty.
But we have to get Conklin. I don't care if we have to throw 18 at him.
We
have to get him.
I would love Conklin. No doubt about it. I think he's worth it. He's just got to stay healthy. Maybe even front load the contract in case he gets hurt again. Maybe you could get rid of him after 3 years. But yeah, that's who I'm going after. But it's getting late, man. I just want to say thank you for the call. Thank you for being a great subscriber, and thank you for the good question.
Yes, sir. Talk again, man. Love your channel, man.
You got it, my man. Thanks for the call. And let me get to, I know Cox asked that question and he rewrote it. I want to make sure I answer that. And there it is. Okay. Rate Simmons as a linebacker as you would rate to a cover corner, 1 to 10. Who is higher? I mean, in my opinion, okay. In my opinion, the most important position on it, I'm going to tell you right now, Cox, the most important position on a defense, in my opinion, is a pass rusher. Like a legit, like a J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald type pass rusher. Cover corner to me is probably the second most important position on a defense, and then linebacker. But I think both are incredibly important, especially in today's NFL, to have a linebacker who could cover the way that Simmons does. I think they're neck and neck. If you could find a lockdown corner, though, and I mean lockdown, and I don't know if Okudah's going to be that, that is incredibly valuable. And let me just read that super chat from John Smith. Thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat. He says, Matt Lombardo is saying rumors the Giants want to trade back and take down. Yeah, I made a video on that a couple days ago, John Smith. Nothing would surprise me with Gettleman. The only way, though, like I said in my video, that I would view that as a possibility, it would be as if they did not bring Leonard Williams back. Because then Gettleman could say, we're going to trade back, we're going to take him, we're going to get better assets than what we gave up for Leonard Williams, and we're going to fill the void that by letting Leonard Williams go created. That's the only way I could see that possibly happening. If they bring back Leonard Williams, I wouldn't worry about it. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, Ben Sina?
What's going on? Who's this?
This is JP King.
What's up, JP King?
I'm doing fine, actually. I wanted to ask you, so what do you think about a possible trade with Dalvin Tomlinson and then re-signing Leonard Williams?
Yeah, no, I made a video on that. I make a video on everything. I'm a lunatic. But I made a video on that about a month ago talking about what players on this team I would be looking to trade. And I said, Dalvin Tomlinson's my favorite player in the defense, by the way. But I'm a huge fan of his. But if you signed Leonard Williams, I think it makes Dalvin Tomlinson expendable because I look at it like this. If you're going to give Leonard Williams $14 million a year, Dalvin Tomlinson's going to be a free agent, I think, after this year, if I'm not mistaken. Are you then going to give Dalvin Tomlinson 12 or 13? You'd be committing almost $30 million to 2 defensive tackles. So that's tough, man. That's tough to sell me on, that I would commit that much of my cap space to 2 DTs. If they were to bring back Leonard Williams, there's a good chance they do trade Dalvin Tomlinson, or they let him walk and get a comp pick if they don't spend big in free agency.
Yeah. I have one more question, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
So what is the I know a while back everyone was wanting Yannick, but it sort of like died down. Is there a reason for that, or is it just everyone wants Conklin so that way we can draft Isaiah Simmons?
I think the reason it's died down is 2 reasons. I think one, I think word has come out that the Jaguars are probably going to franchise this guy. But I think the bigger reason that it's died down is the price tag. I think when word first came out, a lot of people actually thought we could get this guy for $15 or $16 million a year. I never thought that. I looked at the market and said, this guy's going to cost at least $20 million. And I think once people realized the asking price for this guy, I think that's why it died down. I think people are like, I really like this guy, but is he really worth $22 million a year? I think that's the reason why it's died down.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson.
You got it, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
You as well.
Let's see what we got here. Could look to trade Lorenzo Carter next year. They could look to trade a few players. I'm sure they will. Guys, it is 11:34. And I've been live for over 3 hours. So I had a great time doing this. I'm going to do these more often as, free agency gets closer, the draft gets closer. I'll try to do this once a week, and along with a Q&A once a week. I'll probably go live twice a week, one on a Q&A, one on a call-in show. And, of course, I'm going to keep putting out the videos. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the great callers. I had so many great callers tonight. Thank you guys for being great supporters of the channel. Thank you guys for watching, asking me great questions in the chat. And, yeah, let's go Giants, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here all night, man. You guys were great. Have a good one, guys.